Views alongside Jared Carrabis, Jonathan Papelbon joining us momentarily. I am your host, Alanna Rizzo. Casey Hudson will be doing all things on X tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. Good to see you. It's been a minute. It's usually a good day, Jared, when crochet is on the hill.
It is. I believe it was a crochet day the last time that we got together. There was a lot more excitement, I would say, the last time that we got together, but let's start a new winning streak tonight, and then we'll take it from there.
There has been a ton of stuff that has happened since you and I and Pap and Casey were together on the last Unobstructed Views, but I do like the pitching matchup tonight. We talked about Crochet. He's been amazing, a 2.06 ERA, going up against Chase Burns, a young kid, but an exciting one.
Yeah, he throws 102. Like this dude, I don't know if you saw it. This is his second big league start for anyone that's not familiar. First time out against the New York Yankees, carved them up. The first time through, they got to him the second time. So it's going to be that second time through the order that I think we're going to look for the Sox to try and do some damage.
All right, Jonathan Papelbon is at his house in the SIP. Joining us now. Pap, good to be with you as always. What are you looking forward to tonight, my friend?
Well, obviously, he's got to be our stopper. We've been on a terrible losing streak here, but he's our man. But look here, he's the first pitcher in Sox history with 130 strikeouts in his first 17 games. So he's got to punch out guys tonight to give us a chance.
All right, we got a lot to talk about on Unobstructed Views, brought to you by Blue Moon. We are here on the Jordan's Furniture couch. I don't know what Pap is sitting on, but he's going to be talking all night long with us. We'll be right back. Stay with us, guys. Happy that you're here. All right, we're getting you set for first pitch here on Unobstructed Views. Marcelo Meyer coming off of the bereavement list. Jared, what do you want to see from him?
Oh, man, more great defense. You know, he was sorely missed over the last few days when he wasn't around because, I mean, this is a guy that kind of came up, stabilized that infield defense. When they make the plays, they usually win games, Alanna.
All right, so far, Marcelo Meyer 0 for 3 in terms of a current hitting streak. It doesn't matter. He can reset tonight. Can he not, Pap?
Yeah, there's no question he can reset tonight, but to me, he bolsters our lineup a little bit more, gives guys protection in our lineup, and that's crazy for me to say because he's such a young kid, but these guys need protection in this lineup, and they're going to have to pass the baton to each other and do the little things to win tonight.
Pap, the last time we did this and we had bold predictions, you pretty much nailed Garrett Crochet's line, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you again. What is your bold prediction tonight between the Red Sox and the Reds?
I've got him going 7 1/3 tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got, but I've still got him with 8 punch outs.
Wow, okay.
So, but I just think the Reds are a scrappy team. They don't hit many home runs. They're station to station ball club. So, I think his pitch count is going to get up there, not necessarily by walking guys, but I think he's going to face a lot of scrappy hitters.
All right, Carrabis, what's your bold prediction?
Ooh, how about a return to the lineup homer from my guy Cello, coming off the bereavement list. I mean, we don't know exactly what he went on the bereavement list for, but I feel like, you come back, you get a heavy heart, you go in there, you distract yourself, you go in there, have a great game. So how about a home run for Marcelo Meyer?
I like that. I hope that happens for him because that would be great. Again, we don't know what the situation was, but happy to have him back in the lineup. I'm going to say, as far as bold prediction is concerned, that Crochet goes into the 8th. I'm 7 1/3. You say that, Pap. I'm going to go 7 2/3.
Ooh.
I'll get one more out, one more batter. Okay, 7 2/3. And I'm going to go ahead and say 9 Ks. I'm just going to one-up you on everything that you do. How's that?
Okay.
All right,
I hope so.
Okay, first pitch coming up between the Reds and the Boston Red Sox. Tito is back in the building at Fenway. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome me back to Unobstructed Views. This is the first time the three of us have been together, you guys, since the Raphael Devers trade went down. Obviously, the Boston Red Sox trading Devers to San Francisco. I know what Jared's initial thought was because I sent him a tweet and I said, WTF, question mark, question mark, question mark. And he said that he was going to off himself. So, Pap, what was your initial reaction when you found out that Devers went to San Fran?
Thank God. Thank God that this guy is out of here. Thank God I don't have to ask him to play positions anymore that he doesn't. Thank God I don't have to put up with his attitude anymore.
Wow.
I think the players said it the best when they were interviewed.
It's interesting that you say that because I wanted to ask you, Jared, as Garrett Crochet takes the hill to start this game. You had a conversation with Craig Breslow, and when I saw that on social media, I immediately was like, ooh, what was that conversation about? What can you tell us?
Yeah, so, I mean, on the whole Raphael Devers thing, I think in the immediate, I was very upset because you're trading your best hitter. You just swept the Yankees. You finally got back over 500, and you were in a nice little spot. Devers had homered in that game, so I was pretty upset about it. But I think over the course of time, you know, you have conversations with more people and you get more context and you're like, okay, I can still be upset that Devers isn't in my lineup because, you know, it's stating the obvious, you're a better team because he's in there hitting for you. But I think in terms of like the human element of all this, you have the conversations with certain individuals and you can come to the conclusion that it was time, that it was necessary. that it wasn't something that was met by much resistance from others in the room. And, you have to sort of look at it from all angles here. From the fan perspective, if you're still upset about it, I get it. Like, I would love to have Rafi in this lineup. I'm with you. But then when you sort of look at everyone that has to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, you want everyone to be pulling on the same rope in the same direction. And if that wasn't the case, and if the sentiment is, if you don't want to be here, then go, then who am I to step in and say that's the wrong way to look at it?
Well, you look at what Pap said, and that was like a kind of an interesting reaction, like, thank goodness. But I think after you talk to, and I don't want to speak for you, Jared, but I think after you talk to some folks, Pap's reaction was not as out of left field as we originally perhaps would have thought.
No, and I mean, I'm talking about like dozens of conversations, with people in all walks of life surrounding this team. It depends on who you talk to. Like, I was there on Friday. I know that was the conversation with Breslow was on Friday. You're talking to players, you're talking to team personnel, you're talking to whomever. Look at Sadan. Look at our boy, Pap, Sadan, just making it look easy out there.
And let me tell you something about this kid. Not only can he dance in center field all night long, not only does he have the bling now, this kid, man, if I'm pitching, I don't want anybody else playing center field, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Let me get to you on the Devers thing real quick, too.
Please.
When the players were interviewed, I think that was the biggest thing that I looked at, and every player in that clubhouse that was interviewed seemed seemingly okay with it to me, and they were ready to move on as well. So that told me everything in it. And, man, I've talked to everybody from the sausage guy on Lansdowne Street to Sam Kennedy about this deal, okay? There's going to be parts of this that people hate, but they're going to have to go through this knowing that in the end, and hopefully soon, and I've talked to Brez about this too, like, you don't have to wait to the trade deadline to go and get somebody. And hopefully they can go and get somebody here fairly quickly.
I think, Pap, the other thing that stands out to me is that I think at the time Breslow knew this is not going to be met with a bunch of cheers and applause and praise. Like, people are going to hate this, and they did it anyway. That tells you all you need to know about where they were at with Devers. Like, we're going to get killed for this. Let's do it anyway.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But where does the comment come from that I believe that we'll win more without him than with him?
You have to have conviction. I mean, if you're going to make a move like that. It's not the perfect comparison, but you go back to 2004, Theo Epstein trading, Nomar Garciaparra, who is a face of the franchise here, and he said it himself. There's one punchy for you. Theo said, I was the loneliest man in the city of Boston after that deal.
That's another one that gutted you too, huh, Jared?
I was in tears. I was in tears. But
that's the one dude you still want to meet, right?
I've never met Nomar. He's the last guy. Now that I've met Manny, actually, that's since I've been gone. I met Manny. That was another one that I got to add to the board. Yeah, so I went to the draft combine, met Manny, got the picture. So now he's up on the Wall of Fame. Pap's on the Wall of Fame as well. But
I think Pap headlines the Wall of Fame, does he not?
Well, yeah, there is a special wall that only includes guys that
have drilled you,
drilled me, and part of the tandem that recorded a final out of the World Series.
You're special.
Sick.
Yeah.
You are special.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so he's on that wall there. But with the Devers situation, like Pap was saying, you could talk to whoever, like up and down the ranks, you're going to kind of hear the same sentiment of some people will say good riddance, some people will say I'll miss the guy, but it all ends with, had to happen.
It also ends with a really nice first frame for Garrett Crochet. A lot more to come. We'll be right back, guys. welcome you back. We want to bring in the fourth member of our broadcast crew, Casey Hudson, after this starting lineup by. You can't hear me? You can't hear me, Pap?
Pap, can you hear me?
Oh, well. Well, Casey's going to talk now.
I got you.
Okay, perfect. Casey, what do you got? Welcome in.
All right, I got two for y'all right now, but we're going to start with the most important one. It is crochet day, and Melissa wants to know, can we please give the man some run support today? I mean, how do we feel on the run support vibe so far?
Awful. They just
Right off the jump, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, they had that one game on Saturday where they put up a
12-1.
bunch of runs. Yeah, I mean, like pretty much since the Devers trade, they've had the worst team OPS, I believe, in Major League Baseball. So not feeling super great about it. But it would be nice if they got off to a nice little hot start here.
All right, respect the
honesty. Here, in my opinion, what they have to do when you have someone like Crochet pitching, like you know that it's going to take 2, maybe 3 to scratch across the board, and you possibly have a win. So they've got to go out here today, be aggressive, number one, and say, hey, let's play station-to-station baseball, maybe steal some bags here and there, do the little things, and finally play error-free baseball behind them. I mean, that's
you don't like 70 errors on the season, tied for the most in the bigs, Pap?
No, that to me, from a pitcher's standpoint, has been killing us all year long and has been killing us to date. So, I mean, you've got to do those two things. You've got to pitch and play defense, and you can win championships that way.
Okay.
Now, if you pitch, play defense, and hit, then you become on a whole nother level.
Well, you got to know, too, you're going up against a kid. That's got to help.
A kid that throws 102, you know,
yeah, but it's only his second outing.
It's his second big league start. I mean, his first time, like I said, his first time through the order, he faced the Yankees in his big league debut. He carved them up.
Let me tell you something. If he keeps spitting on those pitches, that's what I was exactly talking about. Sorry to interrupt, Jared. That at-bat right there is very key for tonight's game, and hopefully the rest of the lineup can put up at-bats just like Jaron Duran just did.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think if you're up there seeing a kid in his big league debut, second time out, and you know that he's throwing gas, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, if you've got 100 in the tank and the league has never seen you before, you're trying to be like, hey, I'm announcing myself, I'm here. So I'm looking heater if I'm up there right now, like I'm looking heater all day if he's got 100 in the tank.
I will say there's a little positivity here, though. There's one positivity here. Ed says, given all they have to work with, this looks like a good lineup. Hammy needs some work in the hitting department. Who doesn't, in parentheses. But the order looks great. Fingers crossed. Does this give us more juice?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Gosh.
You see negative Nancy over here.
I mean,
I tried to pack the punch on the emphasis. I really tried to sell that one, and Jared hot in on the no.
Cold water all over you, Casey.
I'll tell you what I like about tonight's lineup. I like the fact that AC is running Roman Anthony out there as the number 2 hitter, even though you would look at the numbers on the surface and say, oh, he's hitting 200. It's not a great OPS. It's in the 500s. If you look at the Baseball Savant page, it is Dante's Inferno red hot. So all that would tell you is this kid's about to break out. He's about to break out in a big way. And when he does, I want him hitting second for me. So, I mean, the other day, a couple hits. He's been getting the singles, but he's going to break out from a power standpoint real soon. And I think with him, it's not a timing issue. It's not an issue of talent or overmatched at the big league level. It's really just been a swing decision issue, Pap. Have you noticed anything with Roman Anthony so far?
Yes, it's definitely swing decisions. But I tell you what I did notice, and I was doing pre and post game. Well, hold on right there, double play.
Oh,
he screwed it up. He threw it in the shitter.
Talk about defending the baseball there. It's not just us.
That was a Red Sox play right there.
Yeah, but back to Anthony, and I said this the other day, there's certain ways that I look at a hitter whether I feel like he's overmatched, right? If I throw him in and I splinter his bat consistently, he's overmatched. But Roman Anthony has been he's been reacting in very, very well. And then yesterday he gets the bloop kind of dribbler down the third base line, which is telling me he's staying inside the baseball really well. So I think, and I look for him to come out with a huge bang here shortly. He's almost like he's just a tick away right now.
All right, Abraham Toro at the plate. Casey, thank you. We're going to be with Case all game long as she goes and peruses the interweb, I think as the kids call it. Maybe not. Casey, we'll see you in just a minute. All right, Abraham Toro. This is a guy, he seems to have an up and down season so far. Runners at the corners here, guys. Nobody out there. You must capitalize against this kid.
Quickly down 0-2. I wouldn't be worrying about the guys in the bags right now, by the way. But either way, you know, it's Roman put the ball in play. That's really all you can ask for at the end of the day. If you're punching out, that's not helping out the cause. So put the ball in play. Good things happen. Something good happened for the Red Sox here.
Yeah, I think all he was trying to do there, Jared, was really just keep the double play in order here in case he does get a ground ball.
Oh, there we go.
But that's going to work. That's how you put together at-bats. This is exactly what I'm talking about, man. Hitting the ball the other way when you know you got the shortstop and the second baseman pinched in behind the bags trying to roll a double play here. You got the hole open, man. That was a beautiful piece of hitting right there by Abraham
So what
Toro.
was Duran telling him?
So we had Duran on the podcast last Thursday, and we talked about, we talked with him about being able to pick up tips. Like if you're out there and he goes over and he's telling Willier something. I don't know if he saw something when he was up there, but he's good at picking up guys tipping certain pitches. So maybe he saw something that he can now relay to the rest of the guys in the dugout. And it all spawned from the conversation where he got ejected. I forget where they were. San Francisco, maybe? Where he got run.
Yeah.
So he got ejected in San Francisco, and we were making fun of him for putting his hand over his mouth as he was yelling at the umpire. And he's like, I'm just so used to doing that because, if you see something and you're in the dugout and you're trying to pass along information, you don't want the other team to know what you got. So he's just used to communicating that way. So maybe he saw something.
Nope.
Got to tag up.
Yep. No, tag up. It's halfway up the wall.
Man, I can't see that very well.
That's the captain right there.
What was the one thing that stood out to you from that podcast with Jarren Duran the most?
He was very vulnerable. He was very open about how different this season has been for him compared to last season. The way that he presented himself and the way that he was speaking, I guarantee you will not hear him speak that way on any other platform. He just was comfortable. He was having a normal conversation. I think he's way too hard on himself. We've always kind of known that about him, but I think it gives you like a deeper level of understanding of just how hard he is on himself. But yeah, he certainly puts a lot of pressure on himself to perform. Well,
the one thing he was saying that stood out to me was he's like, yeah, all these fans want me to be, an all-star every single night. And he's like, I do too. I want to effing win every single night. And I believe that he does. I really feel like he does believe that.
Yep. And he said he hates losing more than he likes winning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have we asked him about Devers too. Do we have that? Oh, yeah, let's go.
We got to have a better...
Ask you this. There's something to be said about that, right? You guys have to go back and do your job regardless of who the other 25 in the clubhouse are.
Well, let me tell you.
TS10. Let's go.
He got him.
That's my boy.
All of a sudden.
We always believed in you, TS10. We always believed.
Did we?
We always believed in TS10. Never wavered.
I love how
never a doubt.
We. It's not Alanna.
Oh, there's millions of us.
It's not Alanna. It's we now.
Oh. We always believed in TS10. Proven right
Love
again.
to go off.
proven right again, Pap. Wow.
Man, he loves unobstructed views nights. I think it's
I
the
tell you what.
unobstructed views.
Look at that. Bottom of the first, we're already up on a 5 spot.
I mean, there's Breslow putting down a salad. I go back to the Jaron Duran thing. What did he see something? Did he see something and then he passed it along to his teammates who passed it down the line? I don't know. It's worth noting.
Yeah, and that
I mean,
happens a lot.
they are
Hey,
teeing off on him, dude.
See?
They like.
We have to ask Jaron what he saw.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Text
sure
him right now. He'll go in the
He's
clubhouse.
not. He's not going to tell you. Number one, he won't because
he might.
You know,
You might tell Jaron.
He might tell me.
yeah, he might tell you. He might tell you, but like that's how secretive these guys are. You know, like even Toronto, the team that we just played, in spring training, they have classes on how to steal signs.
Wow, they're getting someone hot already.
And stations on how to steal signs, but. Like this happens every day in the big leagues. You're talking, it might be hands over the mouth, it might be hands down, it might be across the hands. Get up!
Wow, that's another run.
Yeah, they're definitely swinging out the gate just like we wanted them to, and being very
There's
aggressive.
the run support that Casey was asking about.
Yeah.
You got 6 runs already for Crochet before he takes the ball in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, so you know, Crochet is some pitchers like this, some pitchers don't, man. You know, he's been sitting. He's been sitting for a while, you know, and when he comes back out, all you really want him to do is focus on strike zone efficiency. Like we're not trying to punch anybody out anymore. We're not trying to get an elevated pitch count. He's got to come out and pump strikes, and I think keep using that backdoor sweeper that he struck out the last guy on.
Yeah.
Suitors, that, by the way, that Story's 5th home run in June. He doesn't want it to be July yet.
No, yeah. TS10's having a hot month, but that's what we do. You know, that's what we've always been doing. I am very intrigued to hear about if there was some sort of tip because, I mean, they're teeing off very comfortably. Like, Marcelo Meyer was standing on second base for 2 seconds before he got driven in.
It's almost as if they know something.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
like this kid Burns is too good to be putting up a 6th spot in the 1st inning here.
And Cedon just spit on another. Oh, that's a ball. Don't call that. The fact that he's actually spitting on those breaking balls and just solely hunting heater could tell you a lot too.
Yeah.
Pap, who was the best at recognizing guys that were tipping or recognizing signs?
Petey was good.
Man. I hate to say this because he got busted for it, but Alex Cora, man, AC was amazing. In fact, he used to tell me when I was tipping, and I'd go back and I'd say, man, you're full of shit, whatever. And I would go back and look at it on tape. I'd go back with Billy Broadbent and look at it, and sure enough, I'd be tipping. But I used to always tell them, it don't matter if they know what's coming anyway, AC. I'm still going to punch them out. In fact, I was tipping in the American League Championship game when I think we were down 3-1 and CC Sabathia was pitching. And I came in and he told me I was tipping in that game. And I told him I didn't care if I was tipping either. But I did end up changing it after that in the World Series because I knew the Rockies would see me tipping. So I did change up a little bit.
Smart.
It wouldn't have mattered. They could have seen what was coming.
Yeah, the Rockies didn't have
I'm
a
kidding.
chance.
At that time, they were a decent team and a decently run organization. A lot of things have changed since that time. That's neither here nor there, but.
But you know, you make an interesting point with if and I didn't see it, like for Cedon to spit on that right there, a 2-2 slider that stayed in the zone and had part of the zone there, to me tells me he is sitting nothing but heater. Please throw Cedon a 3-2 heater down the middle so he can jump ship.
He's taking some healthy hacks right now.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, I need to get with Cedon, man. We gotta at least have him drink some IPAs that night, maybe, or something to put some weight on. Hey, Blue Moons, we could give him some Blue Moons, man. There you go.
Well, Blue Moon Light's only 95 calories, so I don't know if that's going to put some weight
Yeah,
on.
but
we need more
there's
than
some
that.
Belgian white that's not 95 calories.
Yeah, that's true. That was a great take by him, Pap.
Tito's going to get him.
Oh, wow.
Can't even get out of the first inning. He can only
One
get
time
one out
through the
tonight.
order. Smell you later.
Word.
Man, this is the great part about this is their bullpen is going to be spent, and you have to continue to keep chipping away at this bullpen so that you have a possibility to win and sweep at the end.
That's perfect. You have to, especially against teams like this. Let's go. All right, Jaron Duran's already back up at the plate. Here's what
Oh,
you're
they're
talking
pointing
about.
out.
He's telling Willier something,
Carolina.
and Willier is just kind of bringing it down the line. I wonder what it was.
Stuff like that. I mean, it could be anything from, glove placement. Is it high? Is it low? Is it out? Is it in? Are you flaring your glove out? Like you can sort of see it. But that would be something that you could see from behind maybe. So it might be high, low, and out. I remember one time, where was I?
Band camp?
I think I was at Wrigley, and I had real good seats. Like I was in line with Cora, and Hansel Robles was pitching, and I noticed that he was tipping, and I looked at AC, and I was like, hey, change up, fastball, change up. And they went out and talked to him and punched out the next dude. I was like, go talk. He's like, he's tipping. Yeah, that was 2022, I want to say. Yeah. It's fun looking for that stuff, Pap.
Yeah, man. There's a million different ways for you to sit. I guarantee you know who else is probably involved with this is Alex Bregman.
Oh, yeah.
He's another guy, another set of eyes on that bench that are sitting there watching these pitchers night in and night out, trying to pick up whatever they can and relaying information to these hitters. And, like I was saying earlier, to me, Alex Cora, when I played, was the best at it. Just watching the game and looking at little nuances and taking advantages of all the things that players give you. That was a good pitch right there.
And Bregman could be back before the All-Star break. How much does that play into what this? I guess it depends on where they're at that point. But how much does that play into whether they're buying or selling?
I mean, it depends on if they're playing well. I mean, it depends on how well is Bregman playing. But either way, you're gonna have Marcel Meyer moving over to second base. You're gonna have Bregman back at third base.
I still can't hear.
You can't?
You can't hear us?
No.
Are you sure you just answered my question?
No, it's I can barely hear y'all.
All right, we'll work on it during the break. Another knock. My God. Is this the breakout that this lineup needs right now? I mean, by the way, Brent Suter, what do you know about this dude?
He wrote a children's book on a dog.
I did not know that. He has one of the best Jim Carrey impersonations
Oh, that is true.
Very
I have
low.
seen
of
that
all
before.
time. He can do Harry Carey. He can do Jim Carrey. Outstanding. One of the funniest guys in the league.
Yeah, I just know that he has a children's book about a dog. That's all.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
7-0
can barely
in the
hear
first
that.
here. All right, Pap's gone. We'll work on it. We'll work on it during the break.
Bye, Pat.
But in the meantime, nice little 7-0 lead here for the Sox.
Well, that's all we wanted. Get Garrett Crochet some run support.
So
The fans were clamoring for it.
It's been a while, and it's been much needed. So here's where my mind goes immediately:
Okay.
is now you have to win the series, because if you have that game on Saturday, you win 15-1, like cool, you beat up. Like I think Chris Bassett looked awful. Like he looked. They were saying it on the NESN broadcast. Chris Bassett looked physically ill. Like you beat up on him, that's one game. Means nothing if you don't win the series. They didn't win the series.
Well, and Pat was already saying that we're already going to get in. We're already in their bullpen. So
Yeah.
you beat them up here, and you absolutely have to win the series.
It's a huge advantage to get into their bullpen in the first inning. They obviously didn't plan for this to happen, and it gives you an advantage for the next two games here. Now you got to make it hurt, unless Tito has something up his sleeve here where he's got some sort of reliever that can just wear it for 5 innings for the rest of the boys back there. But
All right, so Toro at the plate now, but it lends me to my next question, and I've wanted to discuss this as he takes the walk. Are we going to get a catcher that can, at least when they spell Narvaez, can get some hits?
Wait, what?
Can we get a different, can we get a catcher at the deadline that can,
Oh, like you mean instead of Connor
instead
Wong?
of Connor Wong?
Yeah. Yeah, see, the thing about Connor Wong, I think he has 1 RBI on the whole
One.
season. I don't think he has an extra base hit, which means he doesn't have a home run either. That would be nice. I would love to have a backup catcher that I feel good about back there. Even if you hit a lick, just give me something. He's giving them quite literally nothing. I know Bayo it's basically his personal catcher, but I mean, Narvaez is great
Gotta be
defensively
a
back
trade-off
there.
that somebody else can catch Bayo.
Yeah.
Get you some more offense.
And it's not like Bayo's the ace. Like you can, like if Garrett Crochet was like Connor Wong's my guy, then it's like he's on the team, no problem. But like for anyone else,
Oh.
ooh, loud outs.
Hopefully Pap comes back.
Yeah, I miss you, Pat.
Oh, sorry, Chase. skis first before he comes back to the big leagues. But wouldn't that be just a boost if that guy comes back, regardless of how they're playing and if they don't buy or sell or whatever at the deadline? I mean, getting him back is huge.
Yeah. So the thing about this injury, everyone kept comparing it to the quad injury that he suffered in 2021, and this one was actually worse than that injury, but he's healing better.
Why?
Don't know.
He's older. That doesn't make any sense.
Better medical staff. I mean, everyone always raves about the medical staff here with the Red Sox. But yeah, worse injury, recovering faster. There's been progress for like over a week now that he feels really good about. So,
all right, Pap, are you back with us? Can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
I got y'all. What's up? I feel like I got kicked out, like the kindergarten club there.
No, you're back. You're back. Obviously, speaking of back, Tito is back. Terry Francona, the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, back in the building. What do you remember the most about playing for him?
A lot of things, Alanna. To me, my first couple years, I came up. It was like a father figure to me. Helped me pave my path in the big leagues. And as I got older and more cockier and more confident in my abilities, it was the exact opposite. It was, hey, simmer down, kid, relax. And he guided me through every step of the way. But now there were times where he took my money in cribbage as a rookie all the time. That, those didn't go very well. And he took me and Pedroia's money all the time. But, other than that was a prototypical father figure coach. And what I mean by that is not only does he have like managers that he's helped get to manage and players throughout the entire league, he's put his fingerprint on. So just a man that is honored and revered throughout the entire course of Major League Baseball, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's headed to Cooperstown for sure. What was your reaction as a fan when they parted ways?
I was there that night.
Shocking.
I've told Pap that story. I was in Baltimore for game 162. Mentally, I don't think I've recovered. So I was sitting behind home plate at Camden Yards, as many rows back as you can go. So the way that it works in Camden is you can kind of sit in that last row there, and if you look to your right, I can see into the press box. Mm-hmm. And so Robert Andino hits a ball into left field that Carl Crawford absolutely should have caught. I'll have your back on that one, Pap. But Pap's out there after a rain delay. The rain delay, we were down there, and I still have the video on my phone somewhere. This is 2011 we're talking about. And I was getting ready to record the last out as the Yankees were going to lose in Tampa. And then Dan Johnson, we'll finish this when we get back.
Damn it, Crochet, we were right in the middle of the story. You're too good.
So as I was saying, Pat, in Baltimore.
Can't hear him again.
Oh God.
Can't hear us again? All right, you tell me what happened.
Yeah. So we were underneath during the rain delay. This is the story of 162 in 2011, and I'm in Baltimore, and we were in this like little bar area, and I was filming the TV because it was 7-6 Rays, and I'm getting ready. Or no, Dan Johnson hits the game-tying home run. And
Dan Johnson.
Yep, Dan Johnson hits the game-tying home run, and I was just like, oh boy. So I had stopped
I'm sure
filming.
That's not what you said.
It probably wasn't. It probably wasn't. So then they tie it. Then this game goes back on. Pap's out there to close it out. Robert Andino hits the ball on the left. Crawford drops it. They're celebrating like they just won the World Series. Keep in mind, the Orioles sucked this year. Like, this was their World Series. They're celebrating on the field. So I'm sitting behind home plate, back row, and if I turn to my right, I can see into the press box. So they've got the TV, the Rays-Yankees game is on the TV, and I see Longoria hits the walk-off home run, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, we need to get out of here, because the season's over. Mm-hmm. Red Sox just lost. Rays just won. I was like, we need to get out of here before these Orioles fans figure out that they just knocked the Red Sox out of, like, postseason contention. So we're, like, booking it down the stairs, and then these people in Baltimore, they put the Longoria home run up on the big board as we're trying to get out of there, and they just erupt. So, I mean, this is before Uber. So we're like, I had my head, I walked back to my hotel with my head down from Camden to whatever Holiday Inn I was staying at, just completely numb. Like, I didn't have the ability to speak words. I just did like the longest walk of shame back to my hotel after that happened.
And then how long after that did they part ways with Francona?
It couldn't have been much longer than that. Yeah, that was like one of the most pivotal nights in Red Sox history, because that was Pap's last game with the Red Sox. That was Tito's last game managing the Red Sox. Jason Varitek retired after that. Tim Wakefield retired after that, and then Theo left for the Cubs.
Pap, what do you remember about that night?
I remember all the reporters coming and asking me, do you think Carl Crawford should have caught the ball?
I mean, and the answer is yes, but you can't throw your teammate under the bus either.
Right. And I never did throw Carl underneath the bus. It was just a bad read. It was just a bad read. He went back on the ball. You know, sometimes outfielders can go back on the ball when the ball is getting in because it's a larger swing. But then that's simply what happened. But at the time, for me, it all happened so fast. Like, next thing I know, I'm getting bombarded in the clubhouse by media on what had happened. And then literally the next day, I get into the clubhouse, and for some reason, I was the only one in the clubhouse at the time. And Theo had, like, somehow popped in there. And I was like, hey, it's good. I'm so glad I just ran into you. You going back up to the front office? I just want to chat with you real quick. He's like, yeah, I'm running around. He's like, Pap, come here. So we started to chat a little bit. And he actually was so good to me and so forthcoming that he knew and explained to me that how everything was going to start unfolding. Huh. And sure enough, it all started unfolding exactly the way he did. And it gave me the opportunity really to go out into because I was a free agent after this year now. And so it gave me the opportunity to not necessarily worry about the Red Sox and what they were trying to rebuild, and Bobby Valentine ended up coming in, which that's a whole nother story. But I was glad to get out and test the market, because I didn't really know before that whether or not I was going to come back or not. But Theo gave me the opportunity to talk to my agents and say, all right, it is time to leave Boston. Everybody's going to be leaving, and this is how it's going to be.
Great stories, guys. All right, here we go, 7-0. We'll be back to the top of the third. Coming back. All right, welcome back to Unobstructed Views, presented by Blue Moon. Top of the third. Already one out.
Yeah, it's quick work.
Appreciate it.
It's quick
We
work.
got a Gold Glover right there. Don't hit it to him.
Since this game is probably going to be a laugher, the Red Sox are going to end up winning this game by 15 runs, Pap.
Well, that's great. I took him at 13 to go over.
There you go. So I was at Fenway Park. I don't know if you heard of it, on Friday night. And before the game, I was talking to Lucas Giolito. And he came up to me and he said, "You still do that alt cast with Pap?" I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Ask him if he remembers how he gave me the baseball for my first career win." And I was like, "Do I even want to know?" And he's like, "Just ask him." So I don't know. As I'm asking you this question, I didn't hear the story from him. He just said to ask you. So what do we got, Pap?
Yes, can we put this on the air?
It sounds like a no, but let's try it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you dumb it down or
Okay,
clean it up?
You know, this kind of came down because the way my first win was handed to me in a way, and so I figured I'd kind of pass the tradition. Oh God, there's 2 outs. Maybe we can get through it. But yeah, so I had the ball, and because I believe I got the last out of the game when he pitched, so I had the ball, and man, I just had to go to the bathroom after the game really bad.
No.
And there was nothing to wipe myself with, and all I had was his ball left. So I had to use something.
Oh my
That's the best way
God!
I
You
can
did
explain
not
it.
take a shit on Lucas Giolito's game-winning ball. His first career MLB win. You pooped on it.
I wouldn't say necessarily pooped on. I had some spare wipage left over.
So now I have to ask the question.
Who did that to you?
Yeah, who did that? So this would have been 2005.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So
One of my good buddies, and rest in peace to his soul, I love him to death, Tim Wakefield, gave me my game ball in a similar way. But actually, the best part about his was they faked me out and actually used a different ball.
okay, you used the real ball. Oh, Loomer! What a catch, Lou!
That is Lou's first ever catch in the booth, because he was bitching and complaining about how he's never got one, and now he's finally got one.
Did he go bare hand?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
attaboy.
nice grab.
Framingham's own Lou Merlone.
Ugh. Look at that, guys.
Wow,
All right.
perfect timing.
More on ball pooping when we come back. Good job, Lou.
Fisk.
All right, we welcome you back. Bottom of the third inning. By the way, in case you guys are watching the actual broadcast, but maybe the sound is off. I'm not certain just because you're listening to us too. You can't hear us again? Well, they're celebrating the 1975 World Series team. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're over on NESN. Lou Merlone, Dave O'Brien, Will Middlebrooks in the radio booth, I'm assuming, if Lou is with OB over there. 7-0. Crochet's on fire, but the Red Sox offense looking to do damage against Suter.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys might be onto something about Garrett Crochet pitching into the 8th inning tonight. You know, I think
7 2/3, I said.
7 2/3. Pap got him at 7 1/3, and I know it's kind of late now for predictions, but what if I just said he goes 8? What if I think he gets all 8?
You're what was your bold prediction?
Cello going deep.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're probably going to get a position player in this game, so don't write off my boy teeing off on a position player later on, too. But either way, it is weird seeing Tito back, you know, because I'd already let him go.
Yeah.
You know,
Put him
like
to bed.
once he retired, I was like, man, hell of a career. And then he Brett Favre'd it, and he's back. He can't let go of the game. Yeah, he can't let go of the game.
But the game's better with him in it.
I agree.
Same thing with Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I remember when I asked one time at Dodger Stadium, Tony La Russa, this was after he retired, if he was going to come back. And he basically was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not coming back. And then he came back to manage the White Sox of all teams.
That felt like a mistake.
And it was a mistake. It was a mistake. Some guys just can't let it go.
Yeah. I saw poor Tony. I think I told you this. I can't remember the last time Tony came up, but he was just wandering around the airport in St. Louis. I was like, I should help this guy. He was just by himself, like just wandering around the airport.
Was he on a flight and he was just like walking around, or was he just randomly walking around the airport for no reason?
I mean, I'm assuming we were past security, so.
Well, maybe he just likes to take a little stroll.
Good for Tony.
Maybe he has to like loosen up keep the blood flowing.
Yeah. A couple airplane bevies.
Were you surprised he came back, Pap? Tito?
No, not at all. Tito to me was the type of person that baseball needs Tito and Tito needs baseball. That's just how it is. And to me, it is different seeing guys in a different uniform, but to me, they're the same managers and they're the same people and they're the same players that when they change uniforms as well. But it's just weird seeing them in different uniforms. But I don't know if y'all have seen, and this is so Tito, I don't know if y'all have seen his seat at the Cincinnati Reds ballpark.
The boat seat.
I mean, it looks like he needs a beer and a fishing pole.
I'm sure tonight he'd rather do that. What makes a good manager?
To me nowadays, what makes a good, and back in the day too, what makes a good manager is he knows the pulse of his team. He knows exactly what to expect. Yeah, there it is.
I thought that this was just custom in Cincinnati. He brings it on the road with him too?
That and his scooter, right?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Ooh, safe.
Look at Sadon getting down the line.
That was, they might want to take a look at that.
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
I think they are.
They are looking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Safe. I'm calling that safe.
I'm on fire tonight. I'm seeing stuff, Pap. Baseball guy.
Humble guy.
That's going to take a while, folks. This one's going to take a hot minute just because the ball has to be in the back webbing of the glove. And I don't know, man. The fact of the matter is that they called it safe.
There's not enough to overturn it.
This angle's not going to show you enough, but
oof, he's safe.
Do you see when they stopped the camera? Once you can see him stop, you'll see stop right there.
It might not be enough to overturn.
It may not be enough to overturn. We've got to keep our fingers crossed for that, but we still have 7 on the board.
The call on the field is very important. Oh, there you go.
Boo.
Eagle Eye Jerry with the naked eye.
Another shout out to Brad Mills, Terry Francona. There you can see him right there. His bench
coach. Is he
coach.
still his bench coach? Oh my God.
Still his bench coach.
That's crazy.
What a beautiful man. Brad Mills was a beautiful man. And let me tell you something. There were times in games where Tito would get so flustered. Like, Brad Mills single-handedly won games for us because Tito would get so flustered. He'd chew gum. He would chew like massive amounts of gum, and he was bald-headed, and he'd take his hat out and rub his head like he had hair. And everybody used to be like, what are you rubbing on top of your head? You have no hair. And thank God that's when Brad Mills would come in and save the day.
Well, you didn't finish your story. What makes a good manager?
I think obviously relating to players is so key nowadays, even more than it was when I played, just specifically because you have social media, you have all the ups and downs with the fans, especially nowadays. But knowing that player and knowing what he does really well, and also knowing what he does or doesn't do as well. So I think those are two very, very big keys to being a good manager.
What about communication? I've talked to a lot of players that the best managers they've ever had are the ones that communicate. Like, I know when I'm going to be in the lineup. I know when I'm not. I know when my playing time is. So my workout, I know how to get that in.
I was just about to say that, Alanna. A lot of. Well, let's do that. We'll
save that thought. We'll do it on the other side.
It was a great point, though, Alanna.
Thank you, Pap. See. All right, top of the fourth, the Red Sox with a nice 7-0 lead over Cincinnati. Of course, Garrett Crochet back out there. That's just his 33rd pitch of the game. Pap, what's he doing so well?
Well, I tell you what, to the righties, and I've been watching more against the righties because there's more righties tonight, but he's backdooring his sweeper so well, and he's throwing it off of his heater, which he's using his heater in more tonight. So I think he's complimenting both of those pitches very well.
All right, we have a very special guest that we're happy to have here on Unobstructed Views. We want to welcome in Fred Lynn, obviously a World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox, 17 seasons, most of those with the Sox. Thanks so much for being with us, Fred. You're with Alanna Rizzo, Jared Carrabis, and, of course, Jonathan Papelbon. The team, obviously, the broadcast celebrating the 1975 World Series team. Great to be with you. Take us back to that time. What's the one thing you'll remember the most about that season?
Losing Game 7. To be honest with you, that's what I remember. I remember Joe Morgan hitting the ball off the end of the bat, and I can't quite get to it. And that was the winning hit and the winning run scored on that. And I still dream about that. all the great things that happened to me in the club, that's the kind of the thing that I remember the most, to be honest with you. You know, it was a fantastic season for everybody, the fans. It just ended like a thunk for me. And that's the kind of thing that I don't know how other guys think about things, but I kind of dwell on things that didn't go our way. And that's what I think about, unfortunately.
Freddie, hope the 2 new knees are doing awesome, my friend. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
But I have to ask you this question about the World Series in the moment, because everyone talks about it now as holding up the test of time as one of the greatest World Series ever played. Game 6, one of the best World Series games ever played. Did you guys feel like after it had concluded, obviously, you know, the loss sucks, but did you come away from it in the immediate, like the week after, being like, it sucks we lost, but that was a great World Series? Or did it just sting so much that you were like, I need to just, you know, we're on to 1976 now?
It's a great question, and I thought about that a lot. And if it would have happened, like if I was on the Reds team and been those veteran guys, that was a veteran team we played. I'm a rookie. This is my first year. Everything's the first time for me and Rice and a bunch of us. So I looked around in the room and I'm thinking, okay, this didn't go our way, but we've got a pretty good group of guys here. And I really thought that we would be back. Just like the Reds were back, seemed like every year. I thought we would be back as well. I mean, we had the nucleus of a very good ball club, and we were very good. We just couldn't quite get back there. But I did think about it, and I didn't really appreciate what we had done, to be honest with you, until my career was long over. Then I look back, and then I started thinking about the 75 season and that team, and the series especially, because you know what happened? Everybody in the country watched that World Series. At that moment in time, football was kind of dominating the airwaves, and we were taking a back seat to them, but not after the 75 series. Everybody watched it. It was probably one of the best World Series ever played, and MLB Network voted Game 6 the best game ever played.
Wow.
So when I started thinking about that, I said, well, you know what? Yeah, it didn't work out for us, but boy, am I proud of my teammates, and I'm proud of the fact that I was able to participate in such a great event.
Yeah, there's no shame, because I feel like if I were in your shoes, I would feel like, well, is it because I played in it and I was a part of it that I feel that way? But there has to be some sort of pride that you carry, knowing best game, best World Series. I mean, we talked about it earlier, like the Fisk home run is featured in movies. You know, I feel like any time that there's any ball down the line, it looks like it could be fair, it could be foul, like everyone's waving it over and over. Like it just, I mean, it's 50 years later. I mean, by the way, you look amazing 50 years later. But yeah, that's got to be something that you hold a lot of pride in.
Well, here's Fisk, you know, right now, and that's Pat Darcy, and we were watching him warm up. And, you know, most people don't remember that Pat Darcy threw 2 perfect innings prior to that inning. Yeah, and I think there were 6 ground ball outs. He was a sinker ball pitcher, but Pudge, they didn't know this, was a low ball hitter. So we're on deck watching him throw, and Pudge says to me, Freddie, I'm going to hit one off the wall. You drive me in. That sounds like a great idea to me. Then afterwards, of course, hey, what happened to the part where I drive you in? It was a great moment, and you know, obviously everybody in New England was going crazy. The interesting thing about that is that it actually, I can't even remember what day that we played that game. It was a Monday or a Tuesday, but it went into the next day. So you know, realistically, we actually played 2 games in one day. You know, because it ended the next day, and then we played the 7th game that day. So basically, we started and ended in the same day.
If there was a way that you could simulate the 78 team versus the 75 team, who do you think wins a best of 7 series?
Well, here's the deal. I like the 77 team better than our 78 team.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you know, and no one really gives our 77 team much credit or much love. But here's what happened in 77. We won 97 games that year. Nobody remembers that. I do.
I
And
do.
in spring training that year, I tore ligaments in my left ankle. about halfway through spring training. And so I was at a cast for 8 weeks. So I missed probably at least the first 3 weeks of the season, maybe more. Basically took off the cast and went to Seattle and played. And I played okay for about the first 3 months, but I was like on one leg because of my driving leg, my back leg. And I contributed to the team, and we still won 97 games with me missing a good solid 3 weeks and not playing the way I normally would. So if I don't tear the ligaments of my ankle, that team wins over 100 games. You got to think I'm going to make a difference in 2 games in a month's time.
Yeah.
Especially the way I was playing at that point. So, yeah, the 78 team, we won 99 games that year, and we were really good. But I like that 77 team. One of the things that we did in 77, the Yankees came into town. I think it was late May, early June, something like that. Catfish Hunter started. We hit 4 homers off him in the first inning. And then we hit 5 in that game. We hit 16 home runs against Yankees in 3 games. That was a record at the time. I don't know if it's been broken since because guys hit more home runs. 16 homers in 3 games. So that team could thump. I mean, we had some guys that could really hit. And it kind of gets lost with all the great teams that the Sox had. But I'll take that 77 team.
That is interesting. Yeah, I guess I've
I
never
know
really
you didn't
heard
think about it. I know, because it's
Yeah.
the 78 team and the 1-game playoff.
Yeah.
And all that kind of thing. And that was a great team. It really was. But, boy, that 77 team, we had thumpers.
Fred, you're comparing the 77 team to the 78 team, but let me ask you this. Do you think it's fair to compare eras? Because we're talking about, the pregame conversation was obviously the 75 team, the late 70s, and then you're talking about, the Red Sox in later years in the 2000s and when they finally won in 04 and so on and so on. And now, here we are with the future of this club. Is it fair to compare eras?
It's really difficult. I think it would probably be easier to compare like the 40s against the 50s and the 50s and 60s, 60s, 70s. But now, because the game has changed quite a bit, it's very difficult to say that, in the 2020s, how's that compared to a team in the 70s?
Right.
The game is just so different in so many different eras. And Pap knows as the pitching has changed so much, the philosophy of pitching has changed so much. There's just so many things going on. You know what? Here's the deal. If you could play in whatever era you played in, if you could hit in that era, you could hit in any era. That's my thought. I think I could hit right now. I watch pitchers throw. And Pap will back me up on this. There's not a lot of emphasis on hitting corners or keeping the ball down in the strike zone as there used to be. They just throw it as hard as they can and see where it goes. That's what it looks like to me when I watch a game. I don't know if Pap agrees with me.
You're exactly right, man. You're exactly right.
I mean, it's all about, I saw an article in the paper the other day. Ohtani throws 2 innings, throws 102 miles an hour. Who cares? The object of the game, correct me if I'm wrong, is to get people out. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you get them out and be economical with your pitch count so that you can go 9 innings. And so that little philosophy changed right there. You can't even compare today's philosophy with pitching staffs to the 70s or 80s.
All right, Fred, we're going to be right back. We'll see you on the other side. Stay with us. All right, we welcome you back to Unobstructed Views. Of course, joined again by Fred Lynn, talking about all those great World Series, or the great teams back in the 1970s, of course, and just how much of a fun time it's been, but also how much the game has changed, Fred. And you said that it's not easy to compare eras. It's not fair. But what is it about perhaps maybe this generation or this era of baseball that you like? And what's something that you kind of wish would go back to when you played?
I wish our guys could throw as hard as these guys do now. You know what? The guys are definitely, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're better prepared. They have a lot of things available to them that we didn't have. You know, we talked amongst each other. In fact, as a rookie, I'll give you an example. You know, I never saw any of the pitchers that I faced. And every day it was somebody new. I didn't know anything about them. I might have heard of them, may have seen them on TV. But you had to ask your teammates, you know, well, what's this guy throw? You know, and then it's not what he throws, it's when he throws it. How's he going to pitch me when the game's on the line? Those kinds of things. The players today have all this information available to them. So a rookie today is a lot different than a rookie was when I played, because we just didn't know anything. Today's rookies, maybe they have too much information, I don't know, but they have things available to them that we didn't have. And I would have loved to, how about, Pap, you love this. Every ball that's hit gets taken out of play. It seems like as soon as it's hit, we played it with the ball until it was hit out of play. You know, I don't think anybody talks about that very much, but I can remember catching balls in the outfield back in the 70s and looking at the ball, and they were all scratched up and everything. And I said, well, I'm not letting their pitcher have this one. I'm taking this one back to the dugout. But today's balls, they're all pearls. We call them pearls. And there's no scuffs on them. In my day, pitchers wanted to scuff on the ball because you can make the ball move. So it's interesting to me to watch those kind of little things that happen in the game today that, you know, we didn't deal with. And what's good about the game today, it's still fun to watch. I mean, it's still fun to watch. I love it when guys, what I think, do the right thing. Get a runner on second base with nobody out, dance him over to third base. Next guy drives him in. I like that little stuff, the little minutiae of the game. When I see that, and when I see guys doing fundamental baseball, that's exciting for me.
Who do you think has been the best Red Sox outfielder since Jim Rice, yourself, and Dewey?
The best defensive center fielder, outfielder that I've seen since our day is Jackie Bradley. You know, he could run them down. He had a great arm in center. He did some really great things, and I was proud that he wore number 19 and won a Gold Glove, and I got to present it to him in New York. That was really fun. But I'm a defender first. I really look at defenders. I'm a stickler for defense. And when guys don't do the right thing on defense, that's mental to me. Those are mental mistakes. Can't handle that. But Jackie Bradley, I love watching that kid play. He was fun to watch play defense. And to be honest with you, I want to see that again from these new guys. Everybody talks about how they hit and everything. Let's talk about the feeling. You know, you got to catch it. The pitching staff of the Red Sox, they would appreciate a good defense behind them, believe me.
For sure.
Makes them feel more relaxed. They don't have to throw a perfect pitch because my guys are going to catch it, do all the right things. So a good, solid defense means a lot to a pitching staff.
Cool. Thank you, Freddie.
Fred, we appreciate you very much. Appreciate the insight as always as we talk about those 1970s teams,
guys.
specifically 75. You take care, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. All right, we welcome you back to Unobstructed Views, presented by Blue Moon. We just have a few more seconds here with Fred Lynn, and I know that that Pap wanted to ask you something.
Freddie, you know, you're one of my favorites to always talk to. In fact, anytime you're in the Legend Suite, I always try to make it a point to come talk to you. Love talking baseball to you. But there's a certain person that you played with that I tend to argue a lot with every day. But you know what? I feel like we would be really good teammates, and I feel like I would have been a great member of that 1975 ball club. I wish I would have played with you guys. But is it true, and do you all win the 1975 World Series if Jim Rice is playing?
Oh, boy. So I've had this conversation with some of those guys from Cincinnati, Johnny Bench, back in the day with all those boys. And I said, listen, if we had Jimmy Rice on our team in 1975 for the series, we not only win it, we win it in 6 games.
Is it true that he's tried, and now I heard this too, and I want to get it from somebody that was there. Is it true that back in the day, you could not, if you were on the IL for the playoffs, you had to be on the IL for the rest of the playoffs? And did Jim not know this and try to cut off his cast?
You know what? That sounds like Jimmy. You know, if I was Jimmy, I would be doing the same thing. What cast? I don't have a broken wrist. No, I'm back in the game. Listen, that guy could play with a broken wrist. You know, I saw him do some amazing things. And if you have a Hall of Famer in your lineup hitting 4th and he's not there, you miss him. It's just like the Reds. If they didn't have Johnny Bench, do you think they'd be the same? No, they would not. So Jimmy had a heck of a year in 1975, and we certainly missed him in the World Series because their best pitcher was left-handed, and Jimmy would have eaten him up.
I appreciate you coming on, and from one player to another, it's always great to hear from you. And Jim Rice reminds me every day, so I just wanted to get a little confirmation of that. And tell your wife, Natalia, I said hello as well, and y'all have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Freddie.
Fred. Take care.
Okay, Freddie, thank you.
I think a lot of people share that sentiment, Jared, that if Jim Rice, the Hall of Famer, was playing in that 1975 World Series, that the Red Sox would have won that.
Jim Rice was a beast at the plate. Go look at those total base numbers from 75 through the end of the 70s. I mean, it was homers, it was doubles. I mean, he was all over the base paths, leading the league in total bases. 78, the MVP season, those were like all-time offensive numbers. So, yeah, if you have Jim Rice for that 75 squad, pretty confident that they get the job done, yeah.
It's a great question, Pap. I love that. Because obviously, you know, you guys get to work with him a lot, Pap, when you're on the set out there with TC and stuff. And, you know, he's still teaching kids, trying to anyway, those that are willing to listen, right?
Yeah, he is.
They're allowed to listen.
Yeah, and that's another thing is today in the game, you know, they've got all the sabermetrics and analytics that you could possibly think about. And so it's hard for old timers, especially like Jim, to talk to younger players. And I wish they would allow it a little bit more. I do, like in the times like in spring training where, you know, these guys can really soak up like what true MVP Hall of Famers, your David Ortiz's, your Freddie Lynn's, your Jim Rice's, your Dewey's, Yaz. I mean, I love I'd love to just smoke heaters with Yaz and just listen to him. You know, I mean, like if you could sit down and smoke one heater with Yaz, it's like an hour of going to the psychiatrist. This is no bullshit. So
Well, isn't that the thing? I mean, there's so much value in the information that they have that maybe isn't associated or, you know, attached to a spreadsheet. But last couple of innings for Crochet have been interesting.
Phenomenal play right there.
But
Go ahead,
man,
Lauren.
I tell you what, there's a lot that can be learned from the guys that have come before you, that have done it, that are in the Hall of Fame.
No question about it. And in fact, when I first came up to the big leagues, I want to stop right here because this is such a great play by Jarren Duran. If we watch this ball off the wall right here, and that's one thing that Jarren has really done so much better. Look how quick he gets his ball in, keeps a man at first base. That's doing a little thing. Now, before that, we didn't do. Jared Crochet did not do a PFP, which he should have had. So that's a little mistake. But you can see that they're trying to at least focus on some of these little things, because they've got to clean it up. They've got to clean it up. There's no reason why a 7-run lead should be demolished in this situation right now. It's the little things.
I know, now it's a game.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I
got
don't love that.
Game.
I don't love that.
And you got one of the better players in baseball up right now with ducks on the pond.
Yep.
So you got to be careful here.
Yeah, who would have thought that the Reds would have the tying run at the plate at some point with Crochet on the mound still? Like, I could buy into the fact that the bullpen would blow it, or that you would have someone out there not named Garrett Crochet who would be facing someone at the plate representing the tying run, but not him.
Remember when there was a comment about this being a laugher?
Yep, I do. Still time for that to happen.
Yeah, you better pray. Well, look, here at the end of the day, you've got to learn to smell blood in the water.
That's the
and
thing.
You got to put teams away.
I feel like there was somebody that told me one time, Pap, and I feel like this is your attitude too, and you too, Jared. Like somebody said to me one time, if you see your opponent drowning, put a hose in their mouth.
Yes.
There's got to be some sort of killer instinct with this club.
There's a double play. Get it out of it. Oh, what a play.
That was a hell
And
of
the
a pick.
bull.
Great pick.
BRB, as Carrabis would say. All right, bottom of the fifth in this one. Home run odds in terms of, I heard we had a home run graphic, Jared. We're very excited about that. Boston Red Sox plus 650 for Willier Abreu. This man,
Ooh, look at Meyer.
Marcelo Meyer, the guy that you said, Cello at plus 1,200. You thought that could be against a position player. There's still time.
Could be.
We
Could
shall
be.
see. We shall see.
Speaking of home runs, call your
Ellie?
loved ones and tell them that you love them because Nick Castellanos has homered tonight.
Ellie De La Cruz hitting into that double play, but this is a guy, obviously, it's hard to double him up. He's very fast. But Ellie De La Cruz, you guys, leads all qualified Major League shortstops in homers with 18, runs with 66, total bags at 163, and slugging percentage. Not
He's
bad.
a very good player. He's a very good player. And I think, I think the only knock on him that I guess if you were to ask Reds fans, like what's the one knock on this guy, they'd probably tell you that he should abandon switch hitting. You don't really see that too often. Like I think back to Shane Victorino did that. I want to say in 2013 or 2014 as Willier unloads on one here.
Got him.
Did he though?
Oh, gosh.
He could be inside the park.
Did he just
Yeah, inside the park.
rip his ace?
Could be
again?
inside the park.
Oh my God,
I told you he got him.
Get down,
I told you he
Willier.
got him.
Boy.
They didn't even throw. He didn't even throw.
An inside the park home run.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, you don't see that.
I'm glad he got up because I
Fenway
thought he blew out his ACL there for a hot second.
Yeah, wow.
Fenway Park, you hit it in that corner. That's your only shot at doing it. That's the only way that you could do it right there.
Look at
That was incredible. Willier.
That still counts. Still counts as a homer, baby.
Sure does. I mean,
gonna need
he
some
earned
oxygen.
it. It was like if it wasn't an inside the park home run, it would have been like a 417-foot double.
Yeah, I think it actually hit off of the metal piping railing on top.
I feel like we're in a club.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
do
y'all
clubs.
need to be
Not
in a
guy.
club, man.
I'm not a club
wait.
person either, but I would think that that's what a club looks like.
Yeah.
I
Where
don't
do we
have
go?
that kind of disco lights for the home runs. I need to get
Where
that.
does this
That's
hit?
it.
Ooh.
Yeah, like that's 418 feet. He deserved all 4 bags. Look at this.
Look at the flow.
Tink. Yeah,
Right
that's
off the metal railing.
it's 418.
Home runs are always.
He can't see
rallying.
it.
He doesn't know what it
No. What a weird inning.
Is that the lights or is that just a bad route?
That's
What
the
is
twilight. Yeah, that's that Boston twilight.
I
Breggy
I
loves
had
it.
No
that?
idea.
TS10 will take it.
Hey, that's what you call living right there. That's what you call living right. TS10 has been going to chapel.
Yeah. Oof.
Weird. So
Yeah, you're right. This is a really weird inning, man. Like
very weird.
Cincinnati
I don't-
outfielders
I
are
don't
hating
know if
life
that
right
guy
now.
lost in the lights or what. Another one.
And another one.
Yeah. So I met Willier on Friday for the first time, and he pronounced it Wilger.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's because J's are Y's in Spanish, bro. You don't know that?
No, I mean,
No, not always.
Not yeah,
Stop.
it's not every time.
No.
No.
So I
I
think
thought
like
that was automatic, like Jamborghini. Jamborghini.
No.
yeah,
Yeah,
he,
that's like, no, that is right. Because Poppy used to always say, because I had a Lamborghini and Poppy had a Lamborghini, and we should go out all the time. And he'd be like, "Hey, Pop, you got your Jamborghini?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I wouldn't take Poppy's pronunciation of things as gospel in terms of all Spanish language.
Oh, okay. So it was like Spanglish.
No, it's not. It's just different dialects, but it's not.
Oh, so it's like-
the Y
yeah.
isn't automatically a J and everything.
Okay, so it's more like
Maybe it's more
like,
Dominican Spanish
like versus like Puerto Rican versus okay.
versus Cuban versus Mexican
Okay. I learned something today.
versus Venezuelan versus all kinds. There's all kinds of different dialects.
I learned something today. So he pronounces it Wilger.
he said, "Nice to meet you. I'm Wilger." Yeah.
Wilger. Okay, I'm gonna start calling him Wilger.
But I
You need to
think
call him by the right
think-
name.
But
Well,
like,
look at like Yimmy Garcia. He calls it Jimmy.
yeah.
There's another Y to a J. Just it depends.
Yeah, I'm confused now. It really threw me for a loop, but they
Did
just
you say my name is Yared?
I mean, that's how they pronounce it. Yeah. I just saw the graphic there. They mentioned the last inside the park home run for the Red Sox was Eduardo Nunez in 2018, but that was on the road. Like, when was the last inside the park home run at Fenway? Because if it was Benji Molina,
Oh my word.
do you remember
I'm-
that one, Pat?
I
At
remember
what rate
Benji's,
of
but-
speed was Benji going?
It was in slow motion. I believe the year was 2010. So those were major Pap years. I was at the game. One of the most, if not the most improbable inside the park home run of all
Yeah,
time.
Benji Molina. Any catcher running is.
But there was a lot of man going around those bags on that inside
Yeah,
the park
there
home
was a
run.
collision, I believe, right? Wasn't there a collision?
No, I think it was just like off the center field gate, took a bad hop, and I don't know. We need like a stat person to like look this stuff up.
we need one of those. I was
Well, there's
thinking
got to
it
be
was-
somebody listening or watching us that can give you that answer. Go ahead and,
Yeah.
and tweet it in. Casey will tell us.
But the
Yeah.
last Red Sox player to do it, I'm going with somebody like Ellsbury.
No. You know who it was, Pat? This sucks. I believe it was Raphael Devers in the playoffs against the Astros in 2017. Remember that?
Oh, yeah,
He had a-
yeah.
Yeah.
Great play right there.
Huh. It always
Tweet
goes
us.
back
What are
to
the
Raphi.
answers? We need to know. As they deserve to. All right, welcome you back to Unobstructed Views, presented by Blue Moon. Jared and I are on the Jordan's Furniture chairs. Pap is at home in Mississippi. All right, so we have some answers for you. Willier Abreu inside the Parker. That's nice. The last Red Sox to do it, though, you're right.
I was
Devers.
right. Raphael Devers.
Devers in the postseason, 2017, you said?
In the division series against the Houston Astros. That is correct. But the last person to do it at Fenway at all was the Raimel Tapia inside the park grand slam.
Colorado Rockies outfielder.
This was for Toronto at the time.
Oh, okay.
But I was at this game. This was the Sydney Sweeney game where she threw out the first pitch.
I can't believe you'd remember that Sydney Sweeney threw out the first pitch. It's weird.
It was
I heard she's
iconic.
dating
Was it?
Tom Brady now. I heard she's dating Tom Brady now. We get a little gossip
I
on
heard
the show,
that,
too.
I heard they were talking at the Bezos wedding, but I don't know if that means they're dating.
They could be. I could see it.
You talk to Tom Brady, you dating him, okay? That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. Did you get invited to the Bezos wedding, Pap?
No, I don't know him. Yeah.
I don't think
What
you
the
have.
hell?
God.
What was that? It
Man,
looked like it looked like Saddam was camped under it, and then it just went over the wall. Also, this is like tied for the worst outing of the season for Crochet.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, okay? He's at 75 pitches. Like, you got to get him through this inning and get him back in the dugout. You can't give up anymore. Like, he knew that as soon as he threw that ball right there. That ball creeped back over. This is a cutter that creeped back over the middle heart of the plate.
By the way, our prediction, our hot take, isn't looking really good right now.
No.
For all three of us, by the way. All right, so Sydney Sweeney threw out the first pitch, and they got blasted by what, 20 runs?
Yeah, it was bad. It was like 22-3, something like that. And that was the ball that Duran lost it in the lights and like optically didn't look great, didn't run after it, and ended up being an inside the park grand slam for Tapia.
As a Blue Jay, okay.
Yeah. Tough night. I was there.
How many games have you been to this year so far?
Not a ton.
No?
Probably like in like the 10 range, 10-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
That's light for me. I want to say that ironically enough, the season that I went to the most games was probably 2011 or 2012, because no one wanted to go in 12. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take your free tickets. But in 2011, I was there in Texas for opening day. I went to like a bunch of the games during the year, and then I went down with the ship in Baltimore that
How
year.
many parks do you have left?
Ooh, I think 8. I know I'm in the single digits now.
I've been to every park.
Favorite?
Ooh,
PNC in Pittsburgh. It's beautiful. Incredible.
no way.
So my hot take on
beautiful.
PNC is
What a lot. Hold on, Jared. Hold on.
The broadcast booth is terrible because you're in the clouds. You can't see any. The depth
Yeah,
perception
okay,
at that
all
park is
that's
terrible. Oh,
But other
PNC
than
is
that-
gorgeous.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. I just want to know why. I mean, the first All-Star game was at PNC. I like it, but I don't know about number one.
Oh, for me it is. I love parks that are on the water. I love parks
Oh.
that you can walk to your hotel from. I love parks where there's restaurants around it. It's just beautiful, flanked by the Roberto Clemente Bridge, and I just think it's a beautiful park. And if you're sitting up at the press box area or whatever, you can see the skyline or the city behind it. It's a gorgeous park. I love PNC Park. And if you ever have an off day, or you ever have a chance to go to Pittsburgh, which I think is a sneaky, underrated city, go to the Roberto Clemente Museum. Not only is it incredible.
I think it's by appointment only though.
No, but I got a guy. I got a guy.
There you go.
Because
Hey,
you can go to the Roberto Clemente Museum, which is incredible for obvious reasons, but downstairs there's a winery. And like a lot of big leaguers have like their own barrels down there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
awesome.
not know
And you
that.
can like make wine. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I highly,
not
highly
into
recommend. I highly recommend the Berg.
Okay, all right. You sold me. I don't know. I remember when I was on a road trip in Pittsburgh one time, and I forget who. I was at the hotel bar, and these two dudes walked up, and it was like furry convention. And
What?
it was a furry convention in
my-
Pittsburgh, so I think that ruined it for me.
Yeah, I can see why you would not be into that.
Yeah, and they were wedding crashing that night, actually.
What's your favorite? What was your favorite park to
Just
pitch
close
out on the
door.
road?
I'm a LA. Believe it or not, I love LA.
Yeah.
I love going to the Dodgers, and I loved going to play in Anaheim.
Anaheim. I didn't like Anaheim.
Well, I didn't like it because of the whole Disney World stuff, but and it was always family trips because it was Disney World
Yeah.
there.
Well, I just said it seems like a kitschy, like it seems like an amusement park. It didn't seem like a baseball field to me.
Yeah.
Dodger
Yeah, it
Stadium,
is.
I get.
Yeah.
I
But
like
the
Petco.
weather was always nice, and
Sure.
the playing surfaces to me and the mounds, I don't know if it's because there was no humidity there,
Yeah.
but the mounds were always, I love pitching on the mounds in LA.
Yeah. Coors Field is a beautiful park too. I wouldn't want to pitch there, but it's a beautiful park.
I've heard downtown's gone to hell.
It has gone to hell. I'm born and raised in Colorado, and it's completely different than when I was there. It is
that's
completely.
what
It's
I
like San
heard.
Francisco. San Francisco used to be one of my most favorite cities to travel to. No, thank you. What are the
Yeah.
8 that you have left?
I have 7 left now. The Trop, rest in peace.
Well, it'll be back.
The Rogers Center,
Nice,
Comerica,
nice,
Target,
nice. Very nice. Target's very nice.
Great American.
Okay, whatever.
I've never been to Anaheim, and Oracle. So I've been.
Oracle's nice too.
Everyone loves Oracle, and I've seen it. Like I've been outside it, but I can't count it unless I've been inside for a game. Because usually I go to Oakland to see the A's, but now they're
I was
gone.
gonna say, how have you not been to Oracle?
Because every time that I'm in town to see the A's, the Giants are on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oracle's a nice park. And the Seagulls always know when the game's about to end. They circle it. They circle it because they're ready to go in and get the food. Ask Donardo, when we were doing the games against the Giants, when Devers got traded, we talked about it. And Will Middlebrook said that the Seagulls there are the size of Cocker Spaniels, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, they're eating good.
Yeah, they're eating all those French fries, man. They're
Yep.
carb loaders.
Yep.
They're
The garlic-
carb loaders.
The garlic fries at in San Francisco.
All right, got a guy.
Not to mention, I believe that's 8 or 9 strikeouts for.
What did you
Crochet.
say? You said 7, right? No, you said 8. I said 9.
8.
All right, here we go. We'll be back. Well, it appears that Garrett Crochet is done after 6 innings, giving up the 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of those earned, tying a season high as far as runs are concerned. Now, the last time was 5 earned runs, though, so I guess this one is 1 fewer. That time it was against the New York Yankees. And we welcome in our friends having the post-game duties over on NESN, Tom Karen, of course, and Hall of Famer Jim Rice. And it was an interesting outing for Garrett today, guys. It looked like he was cruising, got a lot of run support, and then things kind of went south a little bit. What do you make of it?
I think like half of New England said he's got a no-hitter going in the top of the 4th like that. But, you know, you just had that feeling. He had the big lead. He had the run support. And, man, it got away quickly.
Location. You're talking about some pretty good hitters over there in Cincinnati. And the thing about it, they're not swinging for singles. They swing it to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
I'll tell you what, if Ellie De La Cruz doesn't fall, that could have been a lot uglier, too.
Do you think this was a matter of, like, the Reds just having a good approach against Crochet? Is that gone?
No.
That's gone.
Yep, sure is. Let's go.
You guys have to stay with us until the end of the game now.
Let's just roll right into postgame. All right, the deal is you have to stay with us for postgame.
Nope.
See?
There you go.
It's a one-way offer right there. I don't like it.
Hey, Jim,
what a
how
weird
you
game.
been?
What a weird game this is, though, isn't
Super
it?
weird. Like, I was just saying, like, looking at Crochet's line, it's like, yeah, you give up the 5 runs, 4 of them earned, but he still punches out 9 and only walks 1. It's just almost like it's weird to see him get hit hard or to see guys, like, you know, take him deep to center field. It's been an odd outing, but it was still dominant at the same time. You punch out 9 and only walk 1.
It's weird if you haven't played in a game or you haven't pitched in a game like this.
Here we go.
No, because, you know, you probably have scored a lot of runs, and all of a sudden, man, we just gave this guy 8, 7 runs, and all of a sudden, but you got to give a lot of credit to the opposing team, too. Like I said, Pap knows that if you throw a lot of mistakes, there's going to be some damage done, and especially when you got a home run hitting team. These guys, they got some guys kicked out of the ballpark.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Cincinnati, I said that out of the gate, that they got a good lineup and they put at bats together, Jim. They ain't no joke. But at the same time, like you said, Crochet's location was off tonight, and balls were up. And not only that, you know, you got a play where he's got to go make a PFP and doesn't make the PFP, another error. I know it's a pitcher error, but still, the errors are still killing us. And we continue to talk about this day in and day out.
Just another at-bat. You know, you give the team another at-bat, and all of a sudden you look in a situation where you got a power hitter coming up. And that's the damage. Or not a single hitter, but you got a power hitter coming up.
So you guys had Fred Lynn on, huh?
Yeah, I was going to ask Hall of Famer Jim Rice. We asked Fred Lynn this question. Besides you, Jim, and Dewey and Fred, who do you think is the best defensive outfielder the Sox have had since your era?
Since my era, Mookie Betts.
Okay. Fred said Jackie Bradley Jr.
No, Mookie.
Really? Over JBJ?
Yeah. But see, you talking about defense. I don't look at defense.
You gotta say, what are you talking? Offense or defense or both?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
I guess defensively.
I still go with Mookie.
Okay.
Mookie, what happened was Mookie was a great outfielder and center fielder, but you sort of like putting your better guy in right field. Why? Because right field is your toughest field to play. Why? Because the sun sits there. Why? Because you got a stronger arm.
So left field's easy?
Left field is for smart people.
Smart people.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to look in the sun?
That's right.
Well, no, they're for smart people because you got to use geometry and you got to, when the ball's going off of the wall, you got to know the angles and the geometric configurations of the wall and the ball hitting everything. Right, Jim?
Say it again, Pat.
No, he can't. I don't think he can say that again, word for word.
All right, guys. We look forward to seeing you for
we got a break,
post-game
TC.
over
I
on
can't say it word for
NESN.
word.
Pitching change. We got to go.
Meteorology major, right? You majored in meteorology.
I did.
For a hot second. All right, we're all back here, all of us, because that was just a pitching change. So no need to say goodbye quite yet to Tom Cairn.
You want to get rid of us?
No,
Get rid of us.
I
It's
definitely
all right.
don't want to get rid of you. I mean, like I said, you guys could stay with us all the way until
Not unless you're
the
staying
final
after.
out.
No,
Final
you
out.
got to stay for an hour after. You know, last year I got asked to do this with Jared, and he was like, "What do you think of the show?" I was like, "I've never seen the show. I'm working every night." He goes, "Why are you doing it?" I said, "They said I could leave an hour early."
It's true.
Why wouldn't I do it?
It was amazing. I've never seen TC happier than when we finished Unobstructed Views, and he was like, "I'm going home. See ya." No post game for TC
best.
that night. It was great.
TC, at the beginning of the game, it looked like Jarren Duran walked over to Willie Abreu and said something to him. And
Yeah.
within that inning, they absolutely teed off on Chase. What do you think was said? I mean, did you guys have that conversation as well? They obviously were talking about something because Chase Burns got lit up in that first.
And first pitch sliders, like they had to have something on them, right?
There's a possibility, but then again, regardless if you have someone on the pitch or not, and Pap knows this, you still hit mistakes. If he throws a good slider, you're not going to hit it. So you got to hit the bad slider. Maybe they were just looking breaking ball, period, instead of looking for a slider, because if a guy throws a slider, throws a cutter, to me it's all the same. It's a breaking ball.
Listen to this, guys. You've told me this before. You've been at places where guys had something on it. You didn't want to know.
I don't want to know. No. Didn't want to know.
So like, that's how you become a Hall of
I don't-
Famer.
I don't
You did not
understand that,
want to
Jim.
know
I don't-
what was
What's that?
coming.
Because now let me question this. Is this because you just wanted to hit reactionally and just react to the
Reaction.
ball?
See ball, hit ball out front. And the thing about it, a pitcher only going to throw two pitches: fastball, breaking ball. That's it. So normally when you talk about the American League, you knew who were the breaking ball pitchers, you know who were the fastball pitchers. And so normally, a pitcher normally want to see a hitter legs buckle. So normally you look and think about fastball, you throw your breaking ball, you buckle. So why not look breaking ball so your legs won't buckle?
All right. Now we say goodbye to you,
It's the
gentlemen.
music like the Academy Awards. They're telling us to
Yeah,
shut
we're
up.
done. No more talking. Bye.
All right, welcome back into Unobstructed Views. I'm taking over for 2 seconds because it's time for me to get out of here. We got the NHL free agency frenzy going down tomorrow, and Boston is under the chat. We'll keep you privy to all of the movement to anticipate as the Boston Bruins got to get some things going. But I leave you guys with this parting gift. One, maybe a different way to pronounce Willier. This guy, Matt, decided to go Willia, the man. I like that one.
it.
I think it tops the other ones. But Jimmy wanted to come in a little hotter, talking about some Raffy who, question mark? We're feeling ourselves getting up to 9, but we still got ways to go. So you guys' thoughts on this before I head out?
I'm not quite ready for Rafi Who yet.
Yeah, I will say this, though. The Giants are also, I mean, not counting tonight's game, the Giants are also 4-8 since the trade as well. So it's not like they got Raffy and they got hot and took off. So that takes a little bit of the sting out of it for me. Like if they got Raffy and then they were, 9-2, I'd be like, well,
What about if they make the postseason and the Red Sox don't?
They were already on a trajectory. Like he didn't put them over the top. He obviously made them better. Did you know the stat? Do you know who the last San Francisco Giant to just hit 30 home runs in a season was?
Posey.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Wow.
It's been that long.
It's been that long.
Yeah. I believe it was Barry Bonds in 2004 or whatever it was, but
How do you register all this information? Like,
He does nothing else but this.
this is my life.
It
This
was,
is all I
it was
do.
Bonds in 06, I believe. But
Yeah.
the thing is, though, is that to me, all of this pendulum swing back and forth of the Devers trade, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good because we don't want the young kids seeing how Raphael Devers goes about his business? There's all these things in it, right? But to me, the pivotal player in all of this is Jordan Hicks. If Jordan Hicks can come back to his original form and bolster this bullpen, well, then you don't have to worry about this bullpen come trade deadline, because believe me, not only are the Red Sox going to worry about this bullpen, but everyone else in Major League Baseball will be worrying about bullpen and bullpen health. So that makes it a little bit easier to accept. But it's got to be immediate this year out of Jordan Hicks.
digestible. So we'll shelf the Raffy Who for now.
All right. Casey, we appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow morning. I know you got an early start. We appreciate you being here on Unobstructed Views.
Thank you, Casey.
Night, guys.
Night.
Thank you, Casey. Maybe the Bruins will turn it around. They need to turn it around, too, for crying out loud.
But you can't say, I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. I'm not willing to say that the Giants didn't immediately get better with the addition.
No, they did.
And that the Red Sox didn't immediately get worse with the subtraction.
Both of those things are correct. But I still think even if they didn't make the trade, the Giants were still well on their way to making the postseason in a very tough division,
Much
by the
tougher
way.
than this one, yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm more intrigued. Like I get what Pap is saying. I think if Hicks, especially because he was in the rotation in San Francisco, he's going in the bullpen with Boston. If he can go back to the dude that was throwing 103-mile-an-hour sinkers with the Red Sox, then now you've got some weapons. You've got like 3 dudes in the pen that can get it up to 100 miles an hour for you. Like that's great. But I guess in terms of intrigue, I'm thinking more of the Harrisons and the Tibbs and the future pieces that rather than the Hicks of this year.
But what difference does it make if you have 3 guys in the pen throwing 100 if you're 10 games below 500 and you're not making the postseason?
That's why I'm more looking at the guys that could help later down the line.
Yeah, no, and you got to look at the later down the line guys as well. But it's what have you done for me lately in Boston? And we all know that. And so right now, if you're looking at it, and Jordan Hicks is coming back, in order for anyone to start thinking, okay, this was a good deal for the Boston Red Sox, and Jordan Hicks has got to come up and produce like right out the gate.
The biggest good deal for the Red Sox was dumping the salary to allow them to be able to spend money seemingly someplace else, whether that's going to be this year or next season. No disrespect for the guys that they got over, but the biggest win for the Sox is getting rid of $250 million or whatever it was that the Giants decided to pick up.
Nope, it's what you do with it, like you said, Alanna.
Right.
I think, one of the things, where my mind immediately goes is, why don't you make sure that Roman Anthony's comfortable for the next decade? Why don't you have a conversation with Marcel Meyer's agent or something like that?
So you want extensions now?
Yes, I want extensions now, but I also realize or recognize that if you do that, you still have the exact same team. There's no surplus of talent. It's just kind of taking care of the guys that are already here for the foreseeable future.
You're going to have to look from the outside in from this point on, Jared. There's no more looking from the inside out, right?
Well, I feel like they have all of their top stars for the most part already here. I mean, isn't the future now for this club? Isn't that what they were saying when they said, see you later, Devers, and here comes Marcelo Meyer, here comes Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell to a certain extent. I know he's back in AAA.
Well, speaking of guys that are already here that you should pay, Alex Bregman. All of this all of this has taken place because you signed Alex Bregman. So it would be a damn shame if it was a one-and-done Red Sox tenure for Breggy, especially with the injury and the time that he went down. Sure, it allowed for Marcelo Meyer to clear a path to the big leagues, but if you don't extend this guy, I think that, and I don't know if anyone here disagrees, the Red Sox are sort of telling us now. You had John Henry go out into Kansas City and say, can you play first base to Rafi? He said, yeah, maybe next year. And John Henry, the Red Sox brass, like, there is no next year. You're actually gone. You know, like, we're setting the example of you're either all in on the team or you're on a flight to San Francisco. You tell me what you want to do. And if there is a guy, a veteran, a winner that you want to kind of make the face of this thing moving forward when you have this young core, I think Alex Bregman's the guy.
Well,
why don't you make that happen?
I mean, I think if anyone has anything to say about that, Alex Cora will make sure of it.
He certainly has a say, yes.
You look, you nailed it on the front end, but on the back end, there's a little bit more to be, I guess, figured out. But to me, Alanna, you hit the nail on the head with getting rid of $250 million, of course, and now that gives you the ability to now re-sign Bregman. That's going to be numero uno right out the gate. Ms. Bregman's he will be taken care of and figured out before everyone and anyone else is figured out. Trust me on this. And then secondly, it opens up, well, they've already paid Christian Campbell. You want to talk about paying, right? We've got Christian Campbell done. Now it gives you more ability.
They need another starting pitcher.
Yeah, it gives you the ability to go out and get more starting pitching. But yes, we do need it. But I will give my boy Giolito, and I'm not just saying this because he's my boy, but look, if this man continues to keep pitching like he's pitching, and he has figured his shit out, let me tell you something. This guy has figured his shit out. He's gotten on top of the ball a little bit more. He's moved his arm angle up a little bit, and now he's getting more extension at the plate. He's throwing the ball hard. I mean, this is the Giolito we've all been waiting for. So you got to be patient with some of these guys. And Giolito, and there we see Houck right there as well. What is Houck going to do when he comes back? That's going to have a little bit of the decision factor included in it. And so, I think Lano, you telling us about the $250 million is the biggest key of it all.
Yeah, because it's what you do with it moving forward. Do the Red Sox make the postseason this year?
I've been saying, yeah. It's more of an indictment on the rest of the league, though.
No.
American League is easier.
I disagree with you, Jared, and we can.
Most people do, Pap. I don't take offense to it.
Yeah, it's all good. I politely disagree with you. No team has ever made the playoffs when you lead the league in errors. I think that is the Achilles heel right now. And it just makes it, anytime you give any big league ball club extra outs, you put yourself behind the 8 ball. And like I said, history repeats itself.
If, in fact, they do make it and they continue the way of the error, that will kill them in the postseason. Because the games are usually, 2-1, 3-2. There literally and figuratively is no room for error in the postseason.
Well, right now, I think, Alanna, before this game started, it was at a 16.6% chance to make the playoffs. So you tell me.
So you're saying there's a chance.
16.whatever%.
And the only reason why I know that is because me and TC looked it up yesterday when we were doing pre and post. But it's just they have so many things that they do well. And I will say this team prepares better than anybody, and they have bad habits, but they got good.
Then why doesn't it translate? If you prepare all the time and all the things, why are they tied for the league lead in errors?
They're young and dumb.
They're young,
but the young
and
kids weren't all up at the
figure
same
it
time.
out.
I mean, it was older. It was the older guys too at the beginning. Hold that thought. You have to run to the restroom or something.
Yep.
He's at the edge.
Getting a lead.
All right.
Getting a lead.
Go, Jared. Go. I don't know what the odds are of Jared making it back in time or what they were, but I should have taken the over because he's not back.
Yeah, Alanna, we don't need him anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
We're done with
No, I'm
him?
just kidding. But we're looking at this with this StatCast with all the Red Sox hits in the first inning. And, you know, whether or not we want to say or predict that they had his pitches or he was tipping or not, if you looked at that earlier, every single one of those balls were in the top third of the quadrant. Not a single ball was in the lower third.
Were they just sitting heater, though? Were they just waiting?
Yeah, there's no question. Is when you get to that point and you're spitting on balls that are out of the zone, and you know that okay, he can't throw that for a strike. Then it's just like Jim will tell you, hitters will sit on one pitch and one pitch only because they're able. So like that pitch right there, right? There's no human being going up to plate looking for that pitch, sweeper again, right? So he checks sweeper off of the list.
There's your boy.
Can't wait to see him pitch tonight.
I just desperately want him to be successful because there's like a lot of pressure that comes. I mean, people are probably saying what we're saying. Like they didn't get a ton in return. It was more of the salary dump. So for him, you want to be like, you know what? Maybe I can reinvent myself here.
Maybe. I'm sure he's just trying to get his career back on track at this point. I mean, it was. What was his ERA? Over 6? It was like 6 3/4 as a starter in San Francisco. It's like, let me go back to where I was a dominant reliever. Let's go back to the bullpen. Let's find myself again. And I'm interested to see what the velo looks like. I mean, it has to tick up if he's going back in the pen and just emptying the clip.
So his last outing in Worcester, he was 98-99.
There you go.
But was he locating?
Yeah, he had a little bit of struggles, but I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but his velo was up. And sometimes, you know, when you're in AAA, Marcelo Meyer with a phenomenal piece of hitting right there. But sometimes when you go back down to the AAA level, you're not necessarily worried about location. You're more worried about, do I feel good?
Right.
And can I let it go? And
how you feel coming out of it the next day, right? Like how your body feels.
Yeah. He's gone, Marcelo Meyer.
He's
look at the speed. Lock him up. Jared Carrabis says lock him up.
Pay the man.
Pay that man his money.
27 games we're extending him.
Yeah. They saw 0 games from Campbell. They were like, give him his money.
And he's in AAA.
I think that, this is a lot closer than we think, folks.
What do we got here? He's on the bag. I got him as safe.
I don't know. They might challenge this.
Didn't they lose their
his
challenge?
left leg comes up off of the bag. He's not on. He's tagged. He's out.
Oh.
They're going to challenge that, and he's out.
I think the other foot got the bag. Didn't they lose their challenge?
No.
How?
Play is under review. They won their challenge. Their last challenge, they won.
No,
they didn't.
Red Sox lost.
No. I'm saying the Cincinnati Reds are going to challenge this call.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, because they did.
Earlier they challenged and they were right.
They were right. They overturned it.
Yeah, but he's safe.
He's out. He's out.
Pat, let's make a friendly wager on this.
All right, 25 push-ups.
25 push on air?
On air, you can't stop. We can do whatever,
But we can't see you if you do them.
I can't do 25 push-ups today. I got a bad wrist. I swear to God,
Okay.
it's not a cop
Why
on
do you have a bad? Actually, I don't want
from working out. But I gotta use like the bars. Like I gotta go straight wrist. I can't go hands down.
Oh, okay. Well, we could owe them to each other. We could do them on maybe on the field one day. Yeah. All right.
I'll give you a video of 25 push-ups with the bar. What do we got? Aw, come on.
He's out. You owe me 25. I can't wait for you to do them behind home plate during BP.
I owe you 25. It's gonna be light work, but
yeah,
he was safe.
You said friendly wager, right?
Yeah, he was safe.
25.
This is a bad call.
His foot is up. The other foot hadn't reached, and he was tagged.
It's a lot of bling.
All right, I owe you 25.
Okay.
25 for Pap.
Maybe we can do it on the
Diaz
next
behind the
Unobstructed
plate
Views.
tonight.
Maybe your wrists will be stronger by then.
Maybe. It's been a rough couple weeks.
Especially if Pap
Hammy, you
is
gotta
in
go.
studio with us. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are happy that you were with us here on Unobstructed Views. In case you're just joining us, here's kind of a recap of what's happened. Top of the 8th, Boston up 9-5 over the Reds. Chase Burns got lit up like a Christmas tree in the first inning. Not sure if it's because the Sox saw something in terms of tipping pitches. That being said, Garrett Crochet, 6 innings, a weird outing, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of those earned, just the 1 free pass, but he did still have the 9 Ks, despite tying a season high in terms of runs given up with 5. And here he is, Jordan Hicks, part of that Raphael Devers trade to San Francisco this season with the Giants. You can see what he's done there. But Pap, as you and I were talking about, obviously, and Jared, this is kind of all getting back to just getting his career back on track. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Pap.
No, you go ahead.
I'm just like, there you go, first pitch, 100. That's what I want to see. Like, if you're going to go back into the bullpen, turn it up, high octane, let me see what you got, empty the clip, and just pump strikes in there. Because when he's throwing triple digits, we're not talking about straight heaters. Like, he's got some movement to his pitches at high velocity, and I'm just looking to see what happens with the Bailey pitching lab, getting his hands on this guy with the velocity that he does have.
Well, Jared, he has already talked about how impressed he has been with the Bailey pitching lab and how excited he's been to work with it. I know you know that already. But right now, there's nobody wanting him to do well more than Craig Breslow to make this trade look like, okay, there are some pieces to this trade. Holy cow, we did get somebody. And, man, he's throwing 100 right out the gate. So you got to like what you see so far.
Pat, but if you think if he can figure this out, and as Jared was talking about, just because he has 99, 100, 101, not straight, has some movement to that, if he can figure it out and attack guys with this type of stuff, and then you have Chapman coming out of the bullpen, how much better does that make the Sox pen?
Well, not only does it make the pit, that is nasty.
Yeah.
That's nasty down in the zone right there. I'm telling you, man, the Red Sox have found something with this kid. And if you have this, what you just said, a 1-2 punt, that is nasty.
You're not touching that. His splitter moves like a sweeper.
Well, anyway, if you have this guy and he comes in and he does what he's doing right now, and he is a legit 1-2 punch with Aroldis Chapman, then guess what? you take the money that you got from Devers and you go get another big bat before the deadline. Don't wait till the deadline and we're waiting the last day. You make your moves quick and you go out and you rebolster this lineup with somebody who's going to end up hitting 25, 30 jacks because you got Jordan Hicks solidifying the bullpen, and now you don't have to necessarily worry about going and getting bullpen help like you would have previously had.
I'm still
Got pumped
dumbfounded
up, too,
by
the way.
the movement on that splitter. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know about you, but I'm pumped up right now. Like, give me the ball. Like, this is exciting to see a guy come in just throwing pumping.
Dotted.
Let's get in the truck.
Dotted 99.
I mean, to me, right now, this is the reason what you're looking for. Like
This is what you're hoping for, right?
This is what you're hoping for.
Yeah, nice
But he's
little
got
1, 2,
filthy
3.
stuff.
I know he has the velocity. That's been made clear. How much of this, Pap, is adrenaline?
101 right there.
It's
Look at that
all
pick.
adrenaline.
Look at
What
that
a play
pick.
on both ends. Let's go.
Let's go. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. It's good to see from Hicks. I love that. I mean, again, that's what we want from this guy. I'm sure that's what he wants. Nobody more than him, hoping that he can get things back on track. But that would be one heck of a bullpen.
I'm just glad that we saw that in outing number 1. Like, to your point, Alanna, I think, yes, adrenaline is contributing to, 101, 102 out the gate, but he does have that kind of velocity when he's right. I just was a little surprised to see it in outing number 1, but you get traded from a situation where maybe things aren't going super great as a starting pitcher with the Giants, and it's like, all right, back to my roots, back to the bullpen where I was blowing chundos with the St. Louis Cardinals, and to make your debut at Fenway Park, a historic ballpark for a packed house there in Boston. Yeah, I can see why he would be reaching triple digits. There's Pap's MVP.
Hey, Don, dance all night, baby.
Stopping at the gap.
Oh, you don't want to get 3? Oh, okay. But you know what? A lot of speaking on we're gonna go back to Jordan Hicks here a little bit. But speaking on that, when you heard him get interviewed when he first got here, I heard something that he said that kind of struck me. He said, I'm excited to be in a place, in an environment where they're expected to win and also where I'm wanted. So, sometimes you give a player new life and say, hey, like, you're wanted here and you could become something really good here and we need you here. sometimes that's all a player needs to hear. And so hopefully that's the case for him, and we can start to see the Jordan Hicks as of old.
I mean, that's not a foreign feeling, right? I think everybody would like to feel like they're appreciated and wanted. I don't think you have to be a Major League Baseball player to feel that way. I mean, I would think you'd want to be someplace that you're wanted.
Yeah, no question about it. But from the standpoint of going out there and being successful, you know, it does make a difference, because you can feel like when I was on the Phillies and we were losing and I knew that they were just dropping payroll and I was on top of that payroll, so I knew I was gone. And so, like, you went out there almost every night being like, man, what, how, who, and what am I pitching for? And it's just different. It's just a different feeling.
Pap, what's it like to be on the top of the payroll?
Well, you gamble a lot of money in the back of the plane. I'll say that. I'll say that much. You take all of Big Papi's money. That's what you do, because he had a lot of it. We're going to need that guy right there to have a big second half of the season in Abreu.
I feel like Jarren Duran is such a huge piece to this offensive puzzle.
It is.
He is if he doesn't get traded.
They better not trade him.
Still on the table, in my opinion.
I'd be
but
pissed if they traded him.
yeah, that would not be great.
In my opinion, it's still on the table as well there, Mr. Jared.
I think it would not shock me either way. If he was still here, if he's still here after the deadline, it's because Breslow had the right asking price. I don't think that – I understand that there is a log jam in the outfield and they have to free up the spot. Masataka Yoshida – like, that's another guy. When he comes back, maybe as early as this upcoming weekend, it's more roster spots where you need to find at-bats for these guys. But again, if he's not here, it wouldn't surprise me. If he is here, it's because Craig Breslow wasn't looking to just give a guy away that has a ton of talent.
But doesn't he, I mean, he just, to me, maybe he fits the Red Sox fan base versus the Red Sox culture. I mean, he's just a grinder. He's a guy that works hard. He wants to be here. He wants to perform. It's like exactly what this fan base wants. I realize you don't make decisions based on what the fan wants, but I think he's good for this club.
Yeah, sometimes they do make decisions based on what the fans want.
Yeah, sometimes, but not all the time. But I agree with Alanna. Really, like, there is a certain aspect to that, yes. But here's my sneaky suspicion, and I think at the end of the day, you do have to keep Duran. That's my opinion. I think that you do. But if Yoshi comes out the gates and he starts raking, be careful. They might let him go.
They wouldn't let Duran go, or they trade?
They might. Yeah, if Yoshi comes out as a DH and he starts raking, be careful. He may not be here long.
I mean, that they would probably love that. They would love to be able to offload that contract. Yeah. But he can also be a guy that can help you.
To be seen is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Still,
Sure.
we still have that timeline.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about with the swing decision stuff. Like, that pitch was just, couldn't have been more in the strike zone, but it's almost like he's looking for something else, and he gets something else, and he's not as see-ball, hit-ball as he could be.
No, he's not. He's not quite yet gotten to, like what somebody like Jim Rice will talk about. Now, Jim Rice was not see-ball, hit the ball his entire career. As he got older and better, he became more see-ball, hit ball. He guessed early on in his career. There's no question about it. And the fact of the matter is, with Roman Anthony, he gets caught. To me, it looks like he gets caught in the middle a little bit. He gets caught guessing, and that's exactly what just happened right there. He was obviously sitting soft, and a heater right down the middle goes by him.
Isn't that what separates, though, the good from the great, is the ability to choose more quickly or within the at-bat, or, the guys that aren't sitting in the middle as long as perhaps some other guys? The recognition of being able to make a decision faster than most.
I totally agree with you, Alanna. And to me, the really good hitters and players will be able to how do I say this? Spoil a pitcher's good pitch. In other words, that there's that pitch that's right off of the edge. That's what you call a pitcher's pitch.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to spoil those to make you throw another one and make you repeat another one of your best pitches. And if you don't, they're able to take that mistake when you don't repeat that really good pitch. They're able to take that mistake either over the fence or hit it for a double.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you got on Toro? Carrabis.
Yo.
Toro.
Cora loves him. So I know.
I love him too.
Yeah, so I think when we think about the first base situation with the Boston Red Sox, you go back to basically Mitch Moreland, like the last time that you had and even Mitch.
Mississippi State, Hail State.
Yeah, Mississippi State. So
Yeah.
even Mitch Moreland towards the end there became a platoon guy with Steve Pearce in the World Series, rightfully so, became the World Series MVP there in 18. But Mitch Moreland, first, he was a Gold Glove first baseman. Then you get into the Kyle Schwarbers where you're taking a left field DH guy to put him at first base. Then you've got your Bobby Dahlbeck's a natural third baseman that you're putting over at first base. I think Alex Cora is sitting there saying, I would much rather have my platoon of Toro and Romy against lefties than an everyday first baseman. You know, if we can't get a natural first baseman, because that's what you're putting over there, you're just grabbing guys from all these other positions, trying them out at first base to see what happens. So you have the everyday guy. Alex Cora's in a place right now where he couldn't be happier to have the platoon of Toro and Romy at first base because they're picking the ball, they're playing good defense, and they're hitting for you. It's stabilizing a very unsure and very unsettled position that's been a thing for the last half decade.
I was just about to say, you know, he's done everything but, you know, take over for Casas and stabilize the position, right? Like we finally have got someone that you can put in there night in and night out and be happy with it. So to me, he's doing the job, and if he can continue to do the job, it only ups the chance for them to make playoffs.
I thought you said they weren't.
No, they're not. But if Toro, so here's the thing so here's the thing, right? You get rid of Devers, right? That's one guy. In order to replace one guy of Devers' stature, you've got to have on this team 2 or 3 guys step up and start playing a whole lot better. And to me, Toro stepping up and stabilizing first base is a huge good thing for the Red Sox.
Who's more important?
Lean on it!
Oh my God!
Have a night, Willier Abreu. An inside the park home run and a grand slam.
He said, see, I can hit the
for
ball out of the
Venezuelan
park,
Trot
too.
Nixon. I love this guy.
13-5. God, talk about immediate impact coming off the IL.
Did someone earlier say that the game was going to be a laugher? Did someone say that?
I believe you did. I believe you did. You got close there for
I love
a
the
hot
club
second,
lights, though.
Yeah, I need to get those lights here in Mississippi. My friends would love that. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm here at Cinco Ocho Casino here.
I can kind of see. Is that a pool table or is that a craps table?
That's a craps table.
Get the hell out of here. I love playing craps.
Yeah, it's craps table. Got blackjack over there.
Ah, wow. Craps table at the house.
Over there, yeah. So
we need to do unobstructed views in Mississippi at the crib.
That's going to cost too much. No.
What do you mean?
Yeah, because I'm going to bring everybody over. We're going to gamble. See, I'm the house. When everybody comes over and gambles, you're going to lose a bunch of money. I don't want to lose. I don't want to take y'all's money. I don't want to do that.
I'll just play with Monopoly money.
I feel like you'd be happy about taking my money, Pap.
Actually, I think I would be happy taking yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a fun night.
I'd love to play crap. We should have an unobstructed view party at Pap's house.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If they make the World Series and win it, we'll have a party here. We'll have a World Series party here.
Okay.
If they make the World Series this year, oh geez, he really doesn't want us to come over.
Anytime I'm working for NESN, if they win the World Series, we'll have a NESN, fly everybody down here.
Oh, so now they have to win it.
Yeah, I got like I got 4 extra rooms if anybody's interested.
Okay.
Come on down, we'll party.
Yeah, why not?
Just think about that for a hot second. He's married, obviously,
Yep.
has 3 kids.
Yep.
I'm assuming they each have their own room, but he's got 4 extra rooms.
4 extra rooms.
Yeah. But the,
Yeah.
the best part about it is we got room for anybody who can't drive home, right?
That's a good point.
Hashtag mathing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Have a night, though. Will you break? Wait, how do we say his name again? I'm sorry.
Wilshere.
Wilger.
Wilger.
Oh, this was in May of 2004. Yeah, Pokey Reese. I remember that. Inside the park home run, Andy hit a ball over the wall and left. Yep. Shout out Pokey Reese, one of my favorite Red Sox of all time.
Why is that?
Pokey was great, man.
He was just, he was a baller. I mean, put it this way, the night that Derek Jeter caught the baseball in the outfield and then took 20 steps before jumping into the stands, Pokey Reese had the better catch that night. Pokey Reese actually had to go into the stands.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Only one time I met Pookie was Pokey. I get him and Pookie mixed up, but
Shout out
y'all know who
Pookie.
Pookie is. Y'all know Pookie, right?
Yeah, the visiting clubhouse clubby.
Yeah, the guru, the clubby guru. I was in spring training. I got a little spot start in spring training one year. He said, Pookie said to me, or Pokey said to me, he said, Pat, you be Pat, don't do nothing but Pat. And I just said, okay. You come up here, you do Pat. I said, okay, buddy. Great teammate, though. That's all you heard was how good of a teammate he was.
Yeah. Great dude. Yeah, I remember that. May
Okay.
2004.
We got Trevino in the game now. Holy cow. Can I get in on the over again?
What was the
get it?
line at?
Wasn't it the line 13?
Line was 13, yeah. The Red Sox covered that by themselves, and they're going to continue to cover that because Trevino's going to he's going to give up 2 or 3 himself. Usually Vegas will lock the game once I don't know if you know this, Jared, but Vegas will lock a game if a position player comes in to pitch.
Ah, okay.
So,
Let's get some strikes here.
let's check it.
56 mile an hour.
Doesn't beat Brock Holt.
So you know Brock's playing in the old-time baseball game this year, right, Pap?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so that's the game that Pap drilled me in last summer. Brock
Can we
Holt
get
playing
him
in
to
it.
Can we get him to pitch again and drill you again?
He is starting the game on the mound, so he's going to be playing all 9 innings. He's going to play all 9 positions, but he's starting. I think I'm batting second. So
Beautiful.
How do you know this already? When is this game?
it's in August. But yeah,
And you
Brock.
already have the batting order?
Yeah, he's a planner. He's a planner, obviously, Alanna.
Come on.
What do you mean?
He's not
Come
like
on.
a-
Shouldn't you be in the cleanup spot if you're doing this?
No, you got to guarantee me that first inning AB.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta let Jared hit as many times as he can, so he's gonna get on base every time. Yeah.
right. The
okay.
modern day analytics would tell you your best hitter is going to hit second. So that's
Oh, what a piss poor horse shit effort that was. Did you see that?
That was pretty bad.
yeah, it's not great.
It's like you couldn't care less.
I mean, if I was getting smoked, I probably wouldn't care much
Really?
either. Yeah.
Then you shouldn't be in the big leagues.
Nah,
not.
dude, you in the show, bro.
Then he
Nah,
shouldn't
bro.
be if he doesn't care. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, see that'd have gotten you strangled too, Carrabis.
Yep.
Comment like that.
Wow, punchy. That's tough.
That'll get you strangled. All right, we welcome you back. It's getting late early here. Red Sox on top by a laugher, as Jared Carrabis predicted early on in this game. Is there a shout-out that you want to give?
Yeah, happy 8th birthday to Jimmy, who's watching the game, and he's got great sneaker game, Pap. Like so he likes these purple ones, but he wears the Tatums. But he's got multiple pairs, and he'll like wear 2 at the same time. So he's got
Different
2
pairs?
Yeah, like he'll
Okay.
get like 2 sneakers going at the same time. He's got more swag than me. He's 8 years old today.
Jimmy, the sneakerhead, huh?
Yeah, big time sneaker guy. Yeah.
We got to get him to be a boot head, man. We got to get him some good boots, man.
Yeah. What would you recommend? So my first boot buying experience was with Kevin Millar.
Ooh.
If you were to
Ooh.
recommend a boot for Jimmy, what would his first boot be?
Well, to me, my first boot was crocodile. Right?
Okay.
He's 8 and not rich. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's rich. I have no idea what his situation is, but
But you gotta go some kind of like alligator or crocodile with the raised nose and the tail on it, you know?
no.
Yeah.
Those are pretty sick. In fact, I got a pair that's got eyeballs on them too.
Oh,
You might even
my
wanna put the
goodness.
eyeballs.
That's
I got a
wild.
pair of Tacovas. Does that
that'd be
work?
sick.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't think I've worn my cowboy boots. I don't even know what they're made out of since I got them with Kevin Millar, but the
Maybe
real one's fine.
ostrich, something like that.
So I don't know if they're ostrich or not. We're gonna have to ask him. Let's get him on. Let's get him on at some point. Actually, I just saw a clip of him on some show the other day. He brought back the handlebar. He's rocking the handlebar right now.
What you
Is
need
he?
to do is you just, for the next show, you wear them and we'll look at them. I'll tell you what kind they are.
All right, you have my word. The next Unobstructed Views, I will wear cowboy boots. I
think
got the
you're-
hat too.
Aren't you in town
Beautiful.
with us? We should all wear our boots. I'll wear my Tacovas. You'll wear
Okay.
whatever it is that you got.
Pap's with us on the next
I
one?
think so. I think
I'm
on the
not
10th.
sure yet. I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
All right, you let us know if you're
right.
in town for the next one, cowboy boots.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Do
I
it.
love it. See how in sync we are, guys? It's like
Look
I love it.
I like that a lot. I got I got like a 2X Jonathan Papelbon jersey because I was like 110 pounds when I was in high school. So like I just wore like 2X to hide how skinny I was. So I'll wear my 2X Papelbon
Yeah, there
jersey
you go.
With a belt.
some cowboy boots. Yeah, I got the belt buckle. Yep. I got the cowboy
I-
hat.
I apologize here, but we have Alcala.
Correct. Another dude that throws
Alcala.
100.
Yeah, I haven't. This is his first time up this year?
No.
No, he's pitched a bunch. He pitched on Friday, not well.
Yeah. Okay. So now, yeah. Okay.
This is probably his 3rd or 4th appearance. I want to say it's the 3rd.
okay.
Yeah.
Somehow he's snuck by me here.
Yeah, he's playing the Eric Gagne role of this team.
Okay.
The 07 Red Sox
Yeah.
Gagne role where it's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
all right, like we're up
Need it-
by 8, let's get him out
Yeah.
there.
Some mop up inning duty. Somebody's
Yeah.
got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, Red Sox trying to win by 8 for Jimmy's 8th birthday. That's what they're
Aw,
trying to
Good
do.
job, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Come on,
great
Sox.
call.
Yeah, he's throwing hundos, but we'll see if he can shut it down here.
He's throwing hundo. Oh, we'll take that. Thank you very much. Throwing hundos, but we have no idea where it's going.
Did Jimmy tell you who his favorite Sox player was?
I don't know. I don't know who his favorite Sox player is. We're
It
gonna
had
have
to
to
be
find that
Devers.
out.
Had to be Devers.
Had to be Devers.
Poor Jimmy. Right before his birthday.
Hey,
tough.
Jimmy, let me tell you something, Jimmy. Little Jimmy, let me tell you something from Pat, okay?
From Pat.
If you got a Devers jersey, burn it, kid.
Last year we took our my stepkids to the game, and she picked a Devers jersey. Hasn't worn it. I mean,
did
even
she?
when he was with the team.
Nothing wrong with that. If it's the City Connect with no name on it, you can just
No,
say
it's
it's a Billy Miller jersey.
It's a sick. Those City Connects are
Bill
sweet.
Miller, there you go.
Little Billy Miller action.
We're having
Except
a garage
for
sale. It
the
might be out at
kids
the
have-
garage sale soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on to it because you never know. I mean, 11
He's
is
not coming back.
but 11 is a prime number. So like, a star is going to take that number at some point. Like, hang on to that.
Right, but it says Devers on it.
Put some duct tape over it.
Please.
Put some duct tape on it.
That's so
Yeah,
cheesy.
you can.
I remember I got my
you can
dice
get out
K
nice enough.
when Johnny Damon went to the Yankees. I remember putting duct tape on that one, who I love, by the way. I love Johnny Damon. But when he went to the Yankees, it's like, all right, this is now a Dice K Matsuzaka T-shirt.
T-shirt. It wasn't even a jersey.
No.
Man, I tell you what, of all the people to go to the Yankees from the Red Sox, now, I never would have gone there strictly because Mo was there too. But I mean,
Pat, I remember a direct quote. You said I would play for the Yankees while you were here.
no, I'd play for anybody that paid me. You kidding me? No, if I had my choice, no, I wouldn't.
Sure.
I wouldn't.
Sure.
But man,
Yeah, it wouldn't
you
have
know,
made sense to go there. You wouldn't have played. So
Look, at the end of the day, you know, I went where the money was at, and I thought I was going to win
Preach.
2 more. I thought I was going to win 2 more championships in Philly. I really did. I was like, this team is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm about to go. Like, I'm gonna have. I was thinking like I'm gonna have to ask for days off because we're gonna win so many games. I can't pitch every freaking night.
whoops.
Whoopsie.
Were you there when it was like Oswalt, Cliffley, Halladay, and Hamels?
Hamels and Kyle Kendrick was the 5th starter.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was filthy.
I can't believe that team didn't win like back to back to back.
What happened, Pap? Like, what? If you look back at it now, why didn't you guys win?
Oh man, look at that suit.
I know that's wow. That's got to be Jim's, no?
That's what you call a Jim Rice
Tomorrow's
Sunday
75
classic.
game is what they're wearing.
Oh.
Oh, look at this.
That's what you call a Jim Rice 75 classic.
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at that.
Got the pocket square and everything.
Go.
Look at him, man.
Fat guy in a lid. I'm kidding.
No, it was all about injuries and guys couldn't play anymore. And
Oh.
Oh.
Will, you're great. Nice play.
He's had a
yeah.
heck of a night.
It was it's all good, you know. Like I said earlier in this show, Theo came up to me and was like, "Hey, you know, it sucks, but you're gonna have to move on, and you know, it's part of the game."
Yeah.
Man, what a freaking night this kid has had, man.
He's a great player.
You know, what surprises me the most and what I'm impressed of is the way he plays right. He reminds me of Trot Nixon so much, man.
I've been calling him Venezuelan Trot Nixon for a year and a half now.
Have you?
Remember the game where I think it was last summer. It might have been against the Yankees, where he went ass first into the stands and almost caught that ball.
I actually do remember that.
I was like, that is a Trot Nixon play right there.
Venezuelan Trot.
Venezuelan Trot Nixon. Yeah, he goes all out. He's a dirt dog. He's
Isn't Duran a dirt bag?
dirt dog.
Bag.
So if Trot
Yeah.
was Venezuelan, then what
Didn't
would
he
Trot
go
say?
to? Where did Jaron Duran go to school?
Where did he go?
Santa Clara, right?
He went to Long
it?
Beach.
No,
Making
Long
that
Beach.
up. Long Beach. He's a dirt bag.
Yeah.
That's what they are. That's
what
right.
they're
You don't
called?
know. You don't know shit about college sports.
Kinda.
Yeah. It's the Long Beach Dirt Bag.
That's the name of the team?
That's where Giambi went.
let
They
that
called
ball
them the
go,
Dirt Bags.
man.
I got it.
Come on, Alcala. You got to let that ball. You got see that's a
his
mental.
fault.
No, that's a mental mistake right there. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got to know that you've got help behind you in trying to jump for a ball that's over your head. This is a mental mistake, man.
That's
He acts
instinct,
like-
though.
Yeah, it is instinct. I'll give you a little bit of that. But once you go up, right? Okay, so you're going up. You got to pull back down. You got to pull back down and let the infield take that ball, man.
You're right.
But there's no question that Alcala has great stuff. It's just, to me, watching him pitch, whether or not he knows how to use that great stuff. And I'm watching him pitch right now, and it just seems to me he's not quite sure on how to use the stuff.
There you go.
There we
Ball
go.
game.
Game over.
All right.
Bottles.
Look at that. 13-6. I would conclude and confirm, Jared Carrabis, that is a laugher.
It's a laugher. It's a win for the Sox. But it means nothing if we don't win the series, Pap. We got to win this series. Let's get back on that horse. Let's start winning series again because they can make the playoffs.
They've got right now, I'm going to say, a 17.8% chance to make the playoffs, going up from 16.6. But, yes, they're still alive. But to me, they have found a way to win this series by beating up the bullpen. You got to take advantage of it. You have the advantage. Take it.
Well, they got into the bullpen in the second inning because Chase Burns was lit up early on in this one. Good job by Garrett Crochet. A weird game, but we will certainly take it for everybody here on Unobstructed Views, presented by Blue Moon. Jared Carrabis, Jonathan Papelbon, our entire crew. Casey Hudson, I'm Alanna Rizzo. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.